Tiffany here. Welcome to my Quilting Live. It's Monday in the evening now, and I have decided I need to get more of this Lonestar done. Yay! If you're new to my channel though, please subscribe, please, and like my videos and share them with your quilty friends, as well as don't forget to comment if you are watching the replay. I mean, you don't really have to, but YouTube sees, that, and it helps out for other people to see my videos. So, anyway, yeah, I'm going to work on the Lonestar and
Jim says there she is.
get things done. So let's see who we got here. We got Jim, we got Katrina, we got Heather, we got myself, which is Scotty. We got Scarlett here. We got Kim here, Rachel, Vicky. Hello, everybody. So
You don't need the tablet?
I don't need it.
Tiff's wearing a
Wendy
shirt.
is here.
Somewhere.
The Iron Man is in the house. Anyway, so hi Teresa. So I need to get this Lonestar done, and I'm gonna tell you a quick little story. So today, you
Maxie
guys,
Doodle's here.
you guys watched me long arm. Hi Maxie Doodle. Hi Bernie. You guys watched me long arm this morning. The reason why you're seeing a little bit more long arming, like quick, fast, and in a hurry, is I went to the doctor's today, and my surgery is the 17th for my carpal tunnel. That means I will not be any sewing for 2 weeks. Okay, so that means from March 17th and beyond, you guys will probably not see any sewing videos. Maybe there'll be a chat, but I think what I'm going to do is probably just do the Sew Sundays as chats, like question and answers, and then by April 1st, maybe I'll try to get back to sewing, but the doctor says don't rush things, so I'm not going to rush things.
Because your husband won't let you?
Because he won't let me. So my surgery is the 17th for the carpal tunnel release, and then I'm going to be off of all sewing stuff until the 1st or later. And that means I'm rushing all my jobs because I don't want any jobs just sitting here laying around between, the 17th and then. I don't want anything backed up. I don't want anything. So I'm rushing all my jobs and everything that I told everyone I would get done.
Ha, Heather. Ha. Heather
trying
says
to
she could
get
make
it
me
done.
do the sewing while you talk.
Yeah, right.
Ha.
Yeah, he will laugh at that one. He's not doing it. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I'm rushing all my jobs, because I already knew I was going to need the surgery. So now we have a date, the 17th. And the weird part is, I thought it would be an awake surgery and they'd just numb me all up. No, I'm getting put to sleep. So
She thought they were going to do it in the office, but
Yeah, I
they're
figured it
actually
would be
doing it in the
something easy.
hospital. She's going to be put to sleep.
So yeah, I'm rushing everything so that I can have nothing hanging over my head. I don't want any jobs just piled up in here. So if you guys see me going crazy and being busy, that is because I have a lot of work to do. So there's only one quilt that I really don't have to rush on. So, and that's a start to finish quilt. So maybe I'll do that when I'm recovered.
Oh, Teresa says thank you for the lovely gift.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Karen asked, do you get numb hands?
Yes, I do. I have carpal tunnel, so they're gonna hopefully fix it. All right, so
Karen says, Kim says, mind the doctor and don't rush the healing process.
yes. So I just want to let you guys know that that's, if you don't see me for 2 weeks and only on Sew Sundays just sitting here chatting, that is because I will be healing.
Bernie
And
says
not
you can
cutting, not sewing, nothing.
Bernie says you can have a live chat and just tell us how it's going.
Yep, that's pretty much what it's going to be. I won't even be able to hand sew because the motions with the hand until it's completely healed. So.
Hi Brenda. Hi
Alrighty. So I don't have much left on this Lonestar. I do have these 4 panels now, the 4 pieces to make one big, huge, humongous 4-patch. So those are ready. I hadn't put those together yet. I waited, and I know some of you that were following along are probably ahead of me. But that's okay. Once I get these 4 together.
Did you type in on your live that it's going to be the Lonestar so they know
Yeah.
for the people that are following?
Yes.
Because I know you got at least one lady that's doing it for
Yes.
you.
So I'm going to put these 4 pieces together, and then I will trim them, And then I can start adding borders today, hopefully, because this doesn't take long to sew these four together. I will be pinning, but you know, it'll get done properly because it's a client's job and I want everything to look, I want it to look quilt show quality because that's what I give to people, so. All right.
Hi, Judy.
I'm
Judy
gonna
says,
stick
what a
this right
beautiful
here.
quilt.
And we're gonna get two pieces and start sewing them together. I just gotta figure out which way they go. Because they've been laying on the floor for, what, a week and a half now since my last
Yeah.
video.
Teresa says, believe me, you'll be happy you're put to sleep. Scarlett says she's getting put to sleep. She's having tendon surgery tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah, okay. See, it's not just me, but, alright, so
Billy
I'm
says,
gonna
love the quilt. It's so beautiful.
see which way I'm headed here. So those two go together. I'm gonna scoop this down. There's not really much room here on my,
Thank you, Katrina.
Wonderful
Katrina
table.
reminded everybody to do the thumbs up.
we're just gonna pretend that I have the room here. And I'm gonna hold these right here. Does that match that end? Yes, it does. So this means this one goes.
Anne says it looks amazing.
This one goes
Bernie
not
says, I can't
that
wait to see
way.
it put together.
That means this one
Now
is
you
the
quilt
one
it.
that goes here. Okay, and that means this one is the one. Gotta hold my body against it. That means this one is the one that goes here. And the reason why I know which one's
Hi,
go where
Linda.
is because of my boo-boo blocks that I sewed backwards. You can see right here that all the blue comes together. But if you look at the tops of this one and this one, these are not my boo-boo blocks, so the correct colors come together. So
Maxie
All right.
Doodle says that is stunning.
these two go together and my seam goes down this side right here. So we're going to put a pin in it so that I know what side I'm going to be sewing on, and I'm going to take the other two and do those first. So I know that I'm sewing this side, I pinned it. I'm just going to lay it out of the way. We're going to put these two
Hi, Kip.
together.
Kip says hello.
Hello, hello. And then I am going to pin along this whole entire side right here. So they should be exactly the same size. Everything should be perfect. It should have lined up. The only thing that's different is the outer sides are like a 1/4 inch bigger, so they stick out. I don't know if you guys remember that. I did that purposely because I'm going to trim it down afterwards. I left that room so that I can trim it down. If I would have trimmed it down beforehand, it might have ended up too short. So it's just a little bit bigger, but that's okay. It's fine. All right, so all my seams should be opposite of each other the whole way down, especially if it's laying in the correct position, but I'm still going to pin it. I'm going to grab myself.
Wow, they get to see Tiff pin something.
Yeah, I pinned it last time when I was sewing it. Oh, come on. I don't like pinning because it's annoying. And it takes too long. It takes way too long for me. It annoys me. So I'm just going to nest these seams, throw pins in, away from the seam. That way, you know, I can just do it the mostly lazy way. I'll still have to pull them out though. But
Can you hand sew with just one hand? You do just hand sew videos. Just,
no,
One hand.
I don't think that would be safe for me.
with just your left hand.
No,
'Cause it's
I
your
can't,
right
I'm
that's
not
being done.
left-handed.
I know.
I wouldn't be able to. My
could
brain wouldn't
practice.
be able to swap from hand to hand.
Another thing you guys might know about my lovely wife is she can write left-handed, but everything is backwards.
I showed that before.
Oh,
Remember in
did
a
you?
video. Yeah, I
Maybe
showed
you
that.
did.
I thought it.
She doesn't do it on purpose. It's how
how
her brain just automatically does it. And it is so interesting to see it.
that I'm a mirror writer. That's what
Yes.
it's called. I write in mirror.
Yes.
the weirdest
when
thing.
she writes left-handed, it's completely mirrored. Hi, Ellen.
Maybe that's why I can't do math, because everything else is backwards left on the left side of me.
There you go. I don't know.
No, it's a couple of you have told me what it's called. It's called dyscalculia. That's what I have since I can't do math. like not even easy math. It's dyscalculia. It's an actual
Okay.
thing.
There's plenty of people that aren't good at math, whether men or women. I know there's the stigma thing that said men are better than math, but I've met plenty of men and women both that are bad at math, and I've met plenty of men and women both that are good at math.
All right. Gosh, this is so much extra work having to throw pins in this darn thing. And to think, I do have to attach both of these with a really, really, really long seam to hook down both of them. Whew, that's gonna be a job of pinning right there. Whew.
Tiff is having carpal tunnel surgery, Linda.
It's called a carpal tunnel release.
Linda asked what was going on with your wrist.
Yeah.
Kim says, I've been cutting little squares all afternoon and had decided they're on steroids. Stupid things look like they're multiplying instead of decreasing.
How funny.
Teresa says, don't push yourself after the surgery. Just come home and prop it up on ice.
Yep, that's what they told me to do.
Prop it up in ice.
I will be going out of town, though, I think on the 18th. So. But that's okay, which is right after surgery. But again, I'll be fine because I won't be the driver. Scotty will. Even though I hate his driving.
That's not what you said today. Today you said you were going to still drive.
Well, it depends on how I feel. We'll see.
I drive good in a nice car. You know it.
Okay. So, I'm going to start sewing up here at the start of the star.
Katrina says Sherry took calculus in 8th grade. See? Some people were very good at math.
Alright.
It's amazing. I was in algebra in 8th grade.
1/4 inch seams. I'm going to back stitch right here.
Kim says that she had it done on both hands. Best thing she ever did.
Yeah, they asked me about that. I said, I don't have no problem with this. My left side is fine. I don't. Maybe in the future it'll happen. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it.
Teresa says Jean True Love has the same thing with math, that she's heard her explain it not very long ago.
Ow, that just poked me in the boob.
Jim says he's had basic math all his years in school. Katrina says Sherry and her are both colorblind, though.
Oh, wow. That's rare for women to be colorblind.
Well, especially both of them. They're sisters, right? And both of them got it. I only ever met one person that was really colorblind.
I just realized that stitch length is not the kind of stitch length I want. But that's okay. I'll turn it down. And I'm not going to re-sew it just because it doesn't look right.
Heather found out she's allergic to raw vegetables. No more carrot sticks for her. They make
Really?
her mouth tingle and burn.
To vegetables. That's a weird one. Well, I know like some vegetables, you know. I'm allergic to lemons, so it's an oddball one, right?
Teresa says I can't drive if you want in shape.
So that's
I
fine.
told her I would drive, and she said no. She's gonna do it. So you gotta tell her. Bernie asked, how does one quilt being colorblind? Trina says she still makes beautiful quilts.
That's a good thing. Alright. All these stupid pins.
Oh, Heather says as long as it's cooked, it doesn't bother her. It's only the raw ones. She's just finding out. It's raw vegetables.
Interesting.
I never heard of that. It's odd.
Yeah. Stay where I put you. Okay.
Oh, is the pin not cooperating?
No, it's not the pin. It's just. All right. 1/2 down. 1/2 down. And I'm just going to finger press this for now. I'm pretty sure it'll want to go whatever way it wants to go.
Heather says it's called oral allergy syndrome. Interesting.
Okay. So that is going to sit like that because that's the center of the star.
Joyce said she had the surgery a few years back and wasn't able to do anything for a month.
Okay. And this is the side that I will be sewing. Actually, I'm just going to sew it without the pins because I don't feel like using more pins. See how it works. One side with pins, one side without. Can I do it? Oh, yes, I can.
She's gonna give it a shot either way.
Yeah, I don't.
You can do it. I have
I
faith
don't
in you.
feel like poking my. That poked my boob. The one poked my boob. It was like right there. Owie.
You can do it, honey. You can do it.
Okay. Stay right there.
You crack me up, my love.
I have to fold that one thing, but that's okay.
Katrina says that Sherry took flashcards of colors and memorized them to what she saw. That's interesting. I guess that's how you could teach yourself.
Yeah.
Huh.
Come on. Lay nicely.
Hi, June. June says hello.
Hello. Just nesting my seams because I didn't pin, so I'm just doing one at a time. Some are already flipped and opposite, and some are not for some reason. I must have just not been paying attention when I pressed everything.
Bernadette says that's smart. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. Down piece. Flip. Remove. So. My fingers are the pins. That's what it is. I'm using my fingers.
Flip, remove, sew. I like it. Gets the job done.
Seams up as I go.
Katrina says her husband helps her too. If the color doesn't go at all, like putting orange in a pink quilt.
It depends on the orange you're putting, and in the pink quilt you're putting the orange in.
Well, she's saying it's Sherry because she's colorblind, so he helps her out with colors that completely don't match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Stay nice right there. Literally right at the end. Oh, these stars messed up. Oh, flip that.
Hi, Zella. Zella says I see color brighter with my right eye than with my left.
Interesting.
We all got our things. That is interesting.
All right. Half number 2 done. It's going to go right here. We're going to make sure, because I just sewed all that. Obviously, was not paying attention. I fingered that one that way, so we're going to push this one this way. And I will need the iron on Mr. Scotty, my big
Ooh.
heavy duty one, please.
Do I get to do when you're in, or are you going to do it? You going to do it with the big piece?
Yeah, just for this section.
Okay. I'll get her plugged in and filled up. She needs water.
All right, so now these two are
These
sewn
ones
together, but
water.
before I sew them down that really, really, really long seam from one end to the other, I'm going to press them because, again, I want this to be as best as I can get it. I don't want it to be all messed up.
June says your quilt is so pretty.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not mine, but my client's. She is 100% head over heels with it. It's not even done.
Yeah, where's slowing down Joe Bill? We haven't seen her in a while.
Oh, she's probably busy.
And who's the lady that's following along? Was it Brenda Foley?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brenda's making the same exact one. Hers is different colors, but she's following your same.
Anyway, I'm waiting for the iron to turn on. I'm using the heavy duty one.
It's on, it's just heating up.
That's not turbo.
Oh, you didn't. Should have told me that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anybody sewing right now? If so, what you sewing?
Granny says, I am in awe of Tiffany and how her brain works and how she can see things in her mind's eye.
Yeah. And I see it, and I can't put it. It's the weirdest thing that I cannot put it. I mean, sometimes I can put it on paper, but most of the time it's just in my head. Like, is that weird that it's in my head and it has to go straight on the fabric? It's not like something that I can just put it on paper. If I had a computer, I would probably struggle trying to direct my own self where to put it, but as soon as the fabric is in my face, bam, that's how it goes. It's weird. Yeah, Katrina. I just finished some foundation paper piecing flying geese for a border. Ooh, that sounds fun, Jessica. Oh, does it feel like it's taking forever for the iron to get hot?
It's the big monster. The big monster takes
I'm
a minute.
anxious to get this thing together. That's what it is.
It's a big beast.
All right, so I'm out of the screen momentarily, but that's okay. You guys can live without me for 2 seconds.
Hi, Auntie Ann. Auntie Ann says, wow, that's gorgeous. I can turn this easily.
What?
I can turn this easily if you want them to watch you iron. I don't know
If you want, I don't care.
This thing easily moves. We're on the tablet again, so it's super zoomed in because we can't move it in or out. This is how it goes. But this is the only device we own that likes our internet, so this is what you guys are getting.
It's the only device that works well with YouTube. At least while on live stream. I have the steam just like steaming over that seam really flat, really flat. Especially the center, because remember, there's bulk in stars in the centers of them. Let's throw this piece over here.
June says I'm finishing some blocks that Kathy and I are making. And see, you guys get to see the ironing board in action now. For those of you that watched our video of recovering it, now you get to see it in action.
Yep, and it's working quite well.
Bernadette says I put 2 twin mattresses on twin beds today, so I am whipped. They are heavy, and I keep checking to see if they have gotten to 10 inches yet. Had to carry them upstairs, too.
Boy, that's gotta suck.
While we're watching her iron, you can come up here and see her quilting designs on the wall. You guys watched her make both of those. You're still in the camera, my love. I'm just showing that too.
Alright.
Hi, Patty.
Now,
Patty was watching that you were quilting when you popped up on live. She's got to go vote for your quilt while she's thinking about it. We're wearing your shirts today too, Patty.
alright, so now I'm putting them right sides together. And now I have the forever seam.
The forever
so I'm
seam.
literally gonna sew for quite some time now because this is so huge that I gotta sew from all the way right here, all the way down to right there. So it's the forever seam, but this one I have to pin.
Auntie Ann says that was a good video. What do you use as a top piece on the ironing board?
That's a sheet. It is a sheet that has lasted as an ironing board sheet for 4 years now.
She says my cover gets discolored and messes up. White's real bad. Yeah, ours has been the same sheet going on, 4 years.
Yeah. The original one I put on there, it didn't shred. The sheets on my other ironing boards, they shredded pretty quick within, I don't know, 6 months. So I'm pinning up this way first, and then I'll pin down the opposite way second. Literally going to make sure that this is 100% together, because it's kind of a little bowing, but that's nothing an iron can't fix to flatten everything out. But it's also because I'm really putting together this really, really, really long, huge seam. So,
Katrina said Cliff is trying to get enough fabric from Sherry's stash to make a king size. Anything I can do to help you?
nope,
Okay. 'Cause it looks like you're having a hard time over there.
it's fine, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm making my pins stick outward so I can just pull them as I get to them. The mile long seam that I'll be sewing. I'm using my long pins for this. Oops. A long one, not a short one.
June says I made a mini ironing board and the fabric looks stained.
I have a mini ironing board that I recovered a long time ago, and I don't ever use the darn thing.
Heather's back. Hi, Heather.
So you can see right here, I'm going to have some bowing, so I might, depending on the other end, we're going to see if I'm going to have to sew this from the bottom or the top.
Auntie Ann says that looks heavy, heavy, heavy.
Yeah, it's
Ellen, we're
be
gonna call the winner on
Sunday.
on Sew Sunday. That's when we'll see who wins. We haven't even picked a winner yet, so we don't know who won.
Well, that's Sunday's deal.
Yep.
Most of my giveaways are Sundays when I do giveaways.
Katrina asks you if you know how to make a bed ruffle.
A bed ruffle, like the thing that goes around the bottom of the bed.
I think that's what she's talking about, but I don't know.
I could probably figure it out, but I don't know how. I don't even use one of those. I have 2 mattresses on the floor. That way it's nice and soft and squishy for me.
Yeah, Tiff doesn't use a box spring or a bed frame.
Not anymore.
She
It
used to.
annoyed me. Made me feel like I was sleeping on a hard rock.
No matter how soft of a bed we found for her, she went through 2 mattresses in no time, and yeah.
Turns out I don't like box springs and bed frames. I like squishy surfaces, like 2 mattresses.
Joyce says, I think it is very beautiful. Can't wait to see it all finished.
Me neither. I've been contemplating the borders this whole time. What am I going to put? How am I going to put it? I already knew the star thing, but I wasn't at the borders yet in my brain.
Katrina says yes, that's what the bed ruffle is.
Yeah, I don't have one of those on my bed, so I would never even think to make one. Oh, there's so many pins. Shit.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Long pins, baby, long pins.
You want me to help you? I can hand you pins.
I just tangled it here.
I can do something. I put on my Iron Man shirt and I didn't even get the iron.
Not yet.
There wants one of them sleep number beds.
Alright, last pin, and I think I'm going to sew from the other side because this side didn't get any bowing in the white area. It's nice and tight, so it's just the other side. So what I'm going to do, oops, I need that piece right here, we need this out of the throat space. And I'm going to pick this whole thing up.
Katrina says you should
And
get a water
sew
bed.
This
If you can even find them.
No, don't want a waterbed. My parents had one when I was a kid, and I felt like I was sinking into outer space, and plus the fact that I need to pee all the time. Oh, that would just be horrible. All right, here we go. The longest seam in the whole wide world.
Jim says he would rather pin than get Jack involved. Don't know what that means.
Jack the Ripper.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't get that, Jim, but okay. I get it now. While we're over here, since this is so zoomed in, you can see all Tiffy's postcards hanging up there. For all of you guys that send her postcards, she loves them all.
I love postcards. Bring that up. Okay.
After you get your surgery, we can finally do the cleaning iron video. There we go. Because then I can do all the work and you can just talk. Tell me what to do. How about that, honey?
Yeah.
There's a video. Hi, Margaret. Margaret says hello.
Hello.
Margaret Hassler, was that the name?
I think so. I think it's you, Margaret, that I need to thank. But I don't remember exactly because I forget things really easily. But you know what I'm talking about it if it is you. So thank you. Okay. Now reach the center, and I'm just going to make
Margaret
sure.
says you're welcome, so it must have been her.
Yes.
So Margaret, we want your address then. You can email it to us or something.
She doesn't have to. It's only
Well,
if she
that's
wants.
up to you, but we would like it. Heather says I had an ex-boyfriend who had one when we dated. Such a comfy bed, slept like a rock. They're still talking about the sleep number.
Oh. For the longest time, I wanted a purple. I read that purple beds were like amazing and watched tons of videos on them. But I don't weigh enough even on memory foam or gel mattresses. I don't weigh enough to sink the bed in. And I like to fall in like I'm on a pile of feathers, but I don't like to be on water. And I don't like too squishy where if I sleep on my stomach that my back is going to suck in really bad at the bottom because that just makes my back hurt worse. So I just like to feel like I'm floating when I sleep.
Eddie asks, what is your stitch length?
2.3. About. It's a Juki, so unfortunately there's no actual number. It's about where it's sitting though. Now this long section needs to suck in a little.
Jessica told Jim Jack Daniels is the good Jack to get involved. I was laughing at it. I said oh well to it. We don't drink either, Jim, but I still thought it was a hilarious comment.
Alright, the longest seam ever is done. Now I need to press the whole thing, and then we can trim, and then we can start adding borders. So...
Oh, I can do that. Why don't you tell me? I unplug it because it beeps. But tell me when you need them back.
Alright.
Trying to help you since you're like Speedy over here.
So I'm going to open this up and I'm just going to press it to one side. I could press it open if I wanted or whatever way I want, but I'm just going to press it open. I mean back to one side. It's no big deal for me.
Auntie Ann says I got a purple and it's on the floor. That's amazing. Tiff was looking into those too. But she can never find one to try because you have to order them on the thing. They don't have them at a bed store, so she can't just go.
I don't want to put it in my house for 90 days and then hate it and then have to move it and then all that crap and or forget about the 90 days and then have to pay for it when we don't have any money. So I'm like finger pushing the seam to one side.
Margaret says that is beautiful.
And I'm just going to let the steam do the rest of the work.
Yeah, I wish Joe was on here to see it. This is Slowing Down Joe's quilt. That was commissioned. I'm just telling him. That was commissioned. Oh, Auntie Ann says you have a year to try it. If you don't like it, they come and take it out. Really? A whole year? We thought it was only 90 days.
Yeah, I thought it was 90 days too. They probably changed it over
Yeah, maybe
time.
they changed it.
So now I'm going to do the whole pressing. As soon as I finish this long seam, I'll press the whole entire thing. That way when I go to cut...
Joe says I'm here, so is the kid. Awesome.
Oh.
We were hoping you'd get to see it, because she's really moving on it now. Now that the machine's fixed and everything, Speedy Gonzalez is back. Patty says, wow, that is incredible.
Okay, well you guys will see it all in a minute. I have to get all these seams down first.
You want me to hold the other end?
Get everything super duper flat.
Okay.
I want as flat as I could possibly make it. That's one thing about Lone Stars is they're not always perfectly flat, since I didn't do mine Donna Jordan's way where all the fabric is on the straight grain, because I feel that that's just too much extra work to remember what side came from what side and all sorts of different piles. That I do it my way, which is the way I taught myself, and it works just fine if you iron it. Everything comes together. I don't have issues quilting it. I starch and press everything I quilt anyway. So most of my clients get nice crispy crunchy quilts at first until it's washed, then it does its own wrinkly thing. Alright, now I press the whole entire thing.
And Heather says you're in a get it done mode.
Yeah.
Yep, Tiff is really on a roll here. She's getting a lot of projects done for her surgery.
Yep. A little bit of bone left there, but that will get fixed. You guys can totally see this thing.
Hi, Judy. Judy says, what a great treat, twice in one day.
Yep. You'll probably see me a lot in the next couple days, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 long arm jobs that need to be done ASAP. And then this needs to be done and loaded on long arm before the 17th as well. So I have lots of work that has to be done, or else it's going to get shoved off in a pile and has to wait another month. Because I have 2 weeks off and I'm going to be sitting here too long, and it's already been here too long, so. Alright, press the opposite side now. Making sure everything's so flat.
It's okay, Kim. We'll talk to you later. Kim's going to sleep.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. You see how much coverage I get though with this big huge ironing board? I love it. I can iron so much at once.
And for those of you that haven't heard, even though we said it a zillion times before, we have a video of how we made this ironing board. It's a pretty old video. You will have to search to find what it is on there.
I just reminded them how we did it though in the newest covering video.
I know. I'm just saying it again while you were ironing. Really? Good Lord, that is cool, Katrina.
What?
Katrina's telling Auntie Ann because they're still talking about the purple mattress that they had a house fire and they called to get a new one, and the company sent them one for free.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that's
amazing.
unbelievable. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Zella. Oh, Zella says I have a big board too. Love it. Ironing board.
I'm kind of stuck against the wall here. If it was in the center room, I would have even less space, it seems like, but it can hang over on both sides, which is the good thing. But
We can move it in the room for you. I can move it to and from.
it's fine being right here on the wall. When I press king size projects for the long arm, though, I definitely move this iron board right here.
I can move it for you. I can move it out and back since I have nothing to do at the moment.
Lots of pressing. Lots of pressing.
Show you guys our little wall hangings again.
Okay, you don't have to keep doing that.
What, do you want to stare at your butt the whole time? They're still seeing you and the ironing board and everything, honey.
Oh.
It's just instead of seeing your legs, they're seeing the upper wall. What are you getting so mad about?
Okay.
Yeah,
Last thing.
Auntie Ann even said what you just said, that the recovering video talked about the bolts and the
Yeah. It went pretty easy.
and everything.
Okay. Hey, that's a lot of work right there. So, part 1, building the center, is complete. We're going to put that right there because it's hot. And I'm going to hold this up.
Do you want me to
so
hold
you
the
can
other end?
See it better. Hold it up really high.
Yeah, plus
Can you see it in the picture?
you're not all the way in. You need to come over this way.
So that is what it looks like. This is the center. Now I just need to build a little bit to the top and a little bit to the bottom, and then the final all the way around border. So that's it so far.
And they can see most of it.
Okay. And then obviously the side stars. I got to trim everything now so that I can build borders around it.
And Vicky says that's so pretty.
Okay. All right.
Darlene says it's stunning.
So now here's the fun part, is making sure everything comes out super duper square.
Teresa says that's gorgeous.
So now,
Hi Sharon. Sharon says that's a beautiful art quilt.
now, large ruler, large long ruler, it could be any large long ruler. We're just gonna match it with these sides because those are the shorter parts. And I know you're like thinking, why would you cut like that, Tiffany? That's not straight. Well, I'm lining the ruler lines up with these seams as well. So I have nice straight lines all the way around this whole entire thing. So that is what I'm going to do.
Jim says awesome.
So this is nice and straight
Bernie
already.
says
Look at that.
gorgeous.
Perfect.
Auntie Ann says holy cow, it's
My
amazing.
45-degree angle right there looks great. Looks great. Literally just doing that.
Hi,
Because
B.
I'm going to be putting borders on it anyway.
B says love it. I will have to make one.
And now we're going to go this way.
Joe says OMG, I'm speechless. Auntie Ann says holy cow, it's amazing. Heather says beautiful.
You ask, I shall complete. Okay, so I'm lining
Katrina
up
says
this
it's
side
gorgeous.
now. Freshly cut seam right there. Back a little. This is why I over measured.
I like your wording. I love it.
I over measured.
Over-measured.
For these outside areas of the further stars that go on the corners, because that way when we do trim it down, we don't lose any star points throughout the whole entire quilt. But I overly measured, guys.
I love it. It worked. We all understood it.
That's so funny. I'm winding this up now. It's funny. I'm weird. I know. And now I'm just going to make my way this way. I have a little bit of straightening to do right there, but that's okay. We're just going to line this up on here. It's literally just like a smidge.
Bernie says that's a great word.
Measuremated.
Auntie Ann says words are a good thing.
Okay.
Jim
This
says new
way.
word. That'll be the word of the day.
Measuremated. Has anybody else measuremated today? That's so funny. I make myself laugh.
Word of the day.
So yeah, it's nice to have a big space to cut when you're doing this, because you definitely have a big quilt here. And even if you just have a small mat, you could still do this as long as you're using the long part of your mat.
Carlene says it doesn't matter if you're bad at math. You're an amazing quilter.
Yeah.
See?
Don't need no stinking math degree to do this. Alright, maybe just a little slice right there. Barely.
Oh, Heather's about to start cutting the Trolls quilt. I'd been watching that on the Facebook thing, Heather. I saw it.
Okay, come down to this one now. Everything's nice and straight. And because I'm horrible at math, I cannot tell you guys this measurement in advance. I do not know how square this quilt is at the very moment. But I will get you a rough estimate very shortly. Notice I'm making sure that when I lay my quarter right here to cut, I'm also making sure everything is still nice and flat, which it better be because I 100% used a ton of starch to do this.
Oh yeah, that's one thing we need to get at Walmart when we stop again, huh?
More starch.
We have to remember that. I don't know if we will remember that unless I write a note, but then I'll forget the note because that's what happens, but...
Got a little bit of bowing right here. It's not a little bit, that's actually a lot of it. But, that's okay. Everything's nice and straight right there.
Dan says more starch, more cowbell.
I think that'll be fine. It's not gonna take away from my design right there because it's getting bordered.
It's beautiful. How dare you ever second guess yourself? It is amazing.
Nope, nope. Right here, Toby. Right there. There, there. cut a little bit real quick. Then come the rest of the way. Way.
Zoomed out. Okay.
And obviously I am throwing all my scrap on the floor that I will have to clean up before the cat finds it.
So this does zoom in more, honey, but that is as far zoomed out as it goes.
That's nice and straight. That's nice and straight.
I don't know
Ooh,
why I
look at that.
attempted
This
it while we were
is
on
now
live,
a
but
perfect square.
Bernadette says, I wish I lived closer, I could be your assistant. Margaret says, me too.
That looks pretty good.
Hey, Deborah, that's a good idea. Deborah says I make a shopping list on my phone's notepad. I always have my phone.
Yeah, I have a notepad thingy. My phone actually has a, like a, I don't know what it's called. It's like,
I don't know if my phone has
I
one,
can
though.
take this little, it's hard with my nails. There's a little pin. And it goes, once it's pulled out, it goes straight to like a memo thing. And I could just take and draw like this, if it would draw. Well, it's on some kind of map because I hit the wrong button, but yeah. Yeah, it has this little like drawing thing and I can just squiggle all my notes. And then I just put the pin away and it deactivates the thingy. Even though every time I drop my phone, the pin pops out on its own. It's kind of funny, actually. I'm like, how does that thing even come out of there?
I don't think my phone has that, though, so
No.
I'm still writing mine on paper. I'm
Right.
old-fashioned.
So now I have a nice square quilt. That is, I'll tell you right now how big it is.
Oh, you want me to get a tape measure?
No, because what I'm going to do is measure a quarter.
Oh,
And then,
I see.
I mean a half.
I see what we're
And then
doing.
you're going to tell me what plus what equals what.
Yes, I gotcha.
Because it's going to be completely square, so I don't need to measure both sides. It is 36 and a half plus 36 and a half.
So 73.
73 inches square, my friends. Alright, so now it's time for borders. So I'm only going to build borders on the top and bottom to be taller, because I do want it to be taller than wider. So I'm going to choose this side right here, and the opposite side of this right here to be my first border, which is going to be the white. And then I'm going to add the next border, which will be whatever color I put there. So
Are you going to make it longer? Is it going to stay big square?
it's going to be longer.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I was just
then I
curious.
will add the next. We're only going to build top and bottom borders for now. Oh, so pretty.
Am I turning this over here to you?
And
Where
I'm
am I
just gonna
going?
lay this right here for now. Like that. Just kind of out of the way, but kind of not. So that we can get the fabric for a 70, what did you say, 73
73 inches, yes.
inch top and bottom straight. So just need 2 strips really. White. So let's get my colors out. Clean all my
Margaret asked, have you picked the backing? And
the
Laura says
backing I'm
that
going to build
it's
from
gorgeous.
the colors. Whatever's left over of all this fabric, I'm going to use to build the backing. And then if I have to add more, I'll add more. Alright, so we're going to use my white to start.
Hi, Laura.
So
Laura said that is gorgeous.
I'm going to cut my first border, let's see, 2.5 inches. Yeah.
She's answering your question now, I believe, Teresa.
Okay, so I'm going to cut 2.5 inches off of my white.
Teresa
I'm
asked,
gonna
what's
cut
your
1,
first
2, 3,
border
4
color?
strips. So just for the top and bottom, my first border, I'm starting with white, but it will go on the sides, but I got to build the top and bottom first, because then it'll match up with the sides. And you'll see how I do this. Oh, right there, in front of my face. Alright, so I'm going to straighten up my fabric right here, because it always seems to move every time I come back to this darn stuff. And I'm going to cut 4 2.5 inch strips. And then we're going to start attaching them. Technically, I won't have to stop cutting because I can cut left-handed. I just won't be able to hold the rulers down because it'll hurt my hand.
Or we can just take a break for a while.
I know. I'm just saying.
Unless you really want to fight with your husband, which you love to do. We didn't know this, but...
Alright, so I'm going to cut 4 2.5-inch strips. This borders I'm just going to build as I go. And I kind of have this really awesome idea in my head. That let me put the first border on.
Hi, Brenda. Brenda says good evening.
Hello. And one more.
Wendy says you'll just have to use your forearm to hold down the roller.
Yeah, I'll be like this.
Hi, Wendy.
I've actually done that before.
Yes, she has.
When I have MS attacks, sometimes it affects my arms, and yeah, I've had to do some weird things to keep going. Alright, so there's my 4 strips. I'm going to hook 2 together, and I'm going to hook the other 2 together. I am going to cut the selvage off first, though, and then I'll hook
Bernie
2.
says, don't you need 5 strips if it's 73 inches?
40 and 40 is 80. I'm just going to assume that these are 40 inches long. I'm only going on the top and the bottom right now.
Okay.
Because these are, once I cut the selvage off, they're 21.5 inches. So yeah, I should have plenty with 2 strips. I may be bad at math, but I think I'm used to the stripping thing by now. On how many to add for borders. And if I'm wrong, then you could throw it in my face.
Oh, we don't do that here. This isn't the place for that. There's million other social media outlets on that one.
Alright, so now I'm going to sew these 2 together and those 2 together and then attach them to the quilt. And then we're going to build the second part of the top and bottom border after these are attached.
Bernie says, oh god, my bad. I was thinking 36, not 40. See, I'm worse at math.
I just always assume that all fabric is 40 inches in length, which helps me in a way. When I know a quilt is like, say, 75 inches total in length or whatever, or width, I always assume fabric is 40 inches, and I have plenty if I put 2 strips together. Alright, so now I'm going to attach these, and then we're going to need to, what's the word that I'm thinking in my brain?
I have no idea. Did you get ahead of yourself there?
No, the iron is going to be needed again.
Oh, okay. Do I get the iron now?
Yeah, you can iron now.
Okay.
Alright, so let's bring this over to me and attach one
Action.
and then the other. And I'm going to just start from the center where I just put that seam. I'm going to put that with the other seam that's in the center. I'm going to pin it on here. Yes, I know, I'm pinning my border on here.
You want to say hi?
Hi.
No, on the camera to
I
everybody.
don't know what camera you're using.
Oh, I'm on that
The
camera.
tablet.
Maxine is here. She
The only
should say
thing that
hi.
likes our internet. We don't have a thing that likes our internet anymore.
Can you see me?
Yeah, they can see you.
There's-
For those that are new to my
there's
channel and
little-
don't know, this is my daughter Maxine, my 18-year-old.
Hi.
As soon as she gets some time off, after the 17th is my surgery, I'll be doing anything for 2 weeks. So if you can squeeze in some time to work on our quilts between now and then.
I can
When?
this weekend. And then all next weekend I work.
Okay, well,
You got a lot of
when
stuff.
I get back to whatever, then you can come and we can work on our quilts.
You've got a lot of stuff.
You guys will just have to wait for me and Maxine to work on our quilts because she's been busy with work and stuff. So.
New job.
You've got many of overheads. They're all saying hi to you.
Hi. 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 Hi.
The camera's right there.
I just, you know, moving my head.
Darlene says only 3 strips, 73 on top and the bottom. Maybe I missed something.
Alright. You leaving?
Yeah, I have to go
fine.
put my earrings back in. This sucked the earring, like
Good.
ate my earring. It said it was stainless steel. It was not stainless steel. So I had a huge ear infection.
That's nasty.
That's why I was sneezing and coughing and all stuffy yesterday.
That's nice.
And I went to the ER, and they said that they're gonna have to like cut my earlobe, to get the gauge out.
Oh, fun.
And I said no, I don't want that, because I won't be able to wear earrings anymore.
Yeah.
So I told them, we're just yanking it out.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
See you later.
Oh, another one of these will come in, by the way.
Okay, well, we're here.
That paper that Mom gave me, that mail yesterday.
Yeah,
So another one will come in.
we're here.
Alright. Now I'm going to sew that and then I'll trim them. Now that they're pinned. I'm not going to trim the hangover just yet. I'll trim it afterwards. Why?
need more
Because
water.
I don't want to. Oh, and I came unthreaded with all that pinning up here. Go figure. All that messing around.
That's slower now.
Come on. Get in the hole.
Mess again.
How many of you struggle with threading these darn machines since I don't know how to use this automatic, finger pressing thing, threader. Man.
Finger pressing thing? It's a finger pressing
Sorry.
thing.
Yeah. I know. My words are a little bit messed up today.
It's okay. I like your new wording.
Alright, here we go. Attaching border 1 to only the top and bottom. Whatever side you designate as your top and bottom.
Bernie says, tip, do you do the diagonal seam on the border?
No, I do straight seams. There's only a few instances, really wide borders and or really wide borders are the only few instances I've ever used a diagonal seam. Most of the time I use a straight seam, especially because it's only 2.5 inches. I mean, I've never had a problem with it. So.
Hi, Kathleen. Maxine left already, but we will tell her. Kathleen likes Maxine's hair.
Oh. She's always doing something different with her hair, but she's growing it out the same as me, so finally.
And this is all words are made up words. We should make some new ones as the old ones are overused anyway.
Yeah.
Hi, Brenda. Brenda says, I took a nap. What did it end up measuring? What size border?
73 inches square. Did you get your pieces together yet? That's Brenda that's doing
Yes.
hers, right? Yeah.
Brenda Foley.
I got all 4 together and I'm adding top and bottom border only right now. I'm going to fold this back and cut these extra pieces off now. Like perfectly aligned pieces. So I'm just going to throw that in my scrap bin. I'm going to cut this one off and then we'll sew on the next. Other side, I should say, not the next border, but the next side. Alright. Alright, now let's go to the complete opposite side. And I know that was the opposite side because of my mess up block that had the blue. Those are my top and bottom. So. Alright, let's
Bernie
pin
said, thank you. That makes sense.
this one
About the
on.
border.
I really have this idea in my head and I think it'll work.
Brenda's ended up 75 inches square.
That works. That's why I left extra for the trimming off and stuff,
Yep.
so. I didn't say that this was a foolproof thing.
It's a big sucker, huh, Brenda?
Now I'm just elongating it before I go all the way around with the final 2 borders.
Ernie says it's not messed up, it was a designer choice.
And yes, I'm using pins, guys. Oh my goodness.
Auntie Ann says you make those borders look so easy. I can't even cut a WOF strip.
With the fabric.
Oh, with the fabric strip without a dog leg.
I don't know, I've come accustomed to how I do things and it just goes quite easy for me. Not to say that I have my struggles, because I do lots of them, let me tell you.
Oh yes.
But sometimes things just come together. That's good. It's a good thing. Because I put a lot of effort into this, it better come together.
Darn right.
Okay, here we go. Line it up and start sewing, then I'll trim off the excess instead of measuring the size first. It's the same thing. I put the seam in the center and I pinned it, so technically I'm doing it the correct way. I just didn't cut off the excess first.
Brenda says, are you adding 2.5 inches?
Yes, 2.5 inches to the top and bottom first. That's whatever side you designate it to be the bottom and the top. 2.5 inches is the first, and it's with the background color. So that would be color W, which was my white. And if those of you who want to do this, just start at video 1. Just remember that video 3, I think, was me with the wrong numbers for the center star, because again, this is coming from my head. So video 3 pretty much just teaches you how to make a star.
Where's my iron?
What?
Where's my iron?
The border as soon as it's
Oh.
sewn.
Oh, I'm putting the whole big giant thing on there?
Yep.
Did you want me to use the bigger iron then?
No, I'll just do it then, so because I don't want you to get all. This thing gets big.
I know.
And
Did you want me to
it's
use the
gonna get
bigger
heavy.
iron then?
Oh no, it doesn't need.
Well, if you're gonna do it, then you don't like it.
As long as it stays straight, that's all that matters.
You're not a fan of squeak. He's my buddy.
Now you guys know why I didn't want to sew this one. It was just the brother machine. Could you imagine? I'd still be sewing that really long seam.
Yes, you would be.
That thing would be chugging along.
It's a worker though. It'd get it done.
Alright, now I'm going to trim this little excess off because it makes it easy for me and I don't have to get up 500 times. And I didn't have to cut anything exactly to size. Because, why? I don't need to. But you can measure your quilt and do it the proper way.
Hi, Lisa. Lisa says hello. She says, how are you?
I am. That's what I am. I'm good. Alright, so I'm going to press these back. Real quickly like.
She's a workhorse, Lisa. She found out the date of her surgery for her carpal tunnel, so she's getting on it because she has a lot of projects.
Ooh, and I lost the tip to the point of a star. What? Oh, man. Oh, well. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect.
Jim says, chugga, 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 choo, choo.
Yes, that's my new theme. The fabric trains.
Auntie Ann says the brother couldn't keep up with your speed. It's more my turtle sewing machine.
Alright, here's one. Two. And now we can cut the next word. Alright, actually I'll just leave this right here. For now. Yeah, that's it. Alright, next. We are going to do, let's see, what am I at now? 70. You said it was 73, 74, 75,
Yeah.
76, 77 and a half. Right? Yeah, that's what it would be. In total height. So I need to get to at least like 90. So I need white. And I'm going to cut.
Bernie thanks you for answering all of her questions. He also thanks you for being on tonight, so I don't watch so Ann spends money that I don't have. She says.
2, 3, 1, 2.
Well, you're
4,
welcome, Bernie.
5. I'm going to cut 5.
Lisa says, "Well, that's spectacular. Your client must be thrilled."
Oh, yeah. She's
What
here.
day is your surgery?
The 17th. So you guys won't see me for, well, you'll see me, but I won't be working after that for a couple weeks. Hold on, I'm thinking right now, because remember, I'm a build-as-you-go kind of person at the very moment.
It's okay, Zella. You have a good night. Zella says the cat came and told her it's bedtime and she's the boss. That's funny.
That's fine.
Kim's back. Hello, Kim.
Couldn't sleep?
And she says he took a hot shower to wake up. You could have went to bed, Kim. It's okay.
All right. 3. Yeah, I'm gonna cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3-inch strips. 5 3-inch strips, because I need 1 for each color. I think, yeah, 5 3-inch strips from my white, from the W. Let me switch to this one real quick. So 3-inch strips, 5 of them. I probably need more, but for now 5 will do.
Joe says to Lisa, "Yes, the client is above and beyond thrilled."
Yeah. Like I said, she's here in the chat. Her and her granddaughter is watching, because when, you know, how everyone says, when I die, somebody's getting something. Well, her granddaughter will be getting this. So she's really interested in seeing how it was made. All right. So 5 3-inch strips is what I'm cutting from my white. And you're going to see
Oh,
why
Kim
in
was
a
in
second.
pain. She says no way she could sleep.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a 2.5-inch strip from every single color. Just one 2.5-inch strip from every color. And we're going to build ourselves a top and bottom border, which is going to take probably a few minutes to make, but that's fine. It's worth all the effort. So 2.5 inches, 1 from each color, just 1 strip. One from that one. Don't hide those, Tiffany. Get those out. 1 from this one. I'm straightening the seams first because the last cut was probably messed up. I'm just gonna make sure that Alright, 3 in. They're 2.5 inch. Duh. Cutting a 2.5 inch strip from every single one of these. 3 inch was from the background color. So 2.5 from that. You guys are like really curious what I'm doing here, huh? Just wait. My ideas come to life sooner or later.
Well, they're saying they don't know what they're going to do without you being on live. Jim says to watch replays and
Yeah, there's tons of replays.
and everything. And I
Tons
told
of
him, I said,
videos.
don't worry, I have ideas for you to do stuff without hurting yourself, like
Yeah.
cleaning the irons video and all kinds of others. I got a whole bunch of
Maybe
ideas.
maybe we can teach Scott to pin something onto the long arm. Maybe he can just pin some junk fabric on, and he can just
You won't let me
do some
use
squiggles and see how well he does
I
it.
wanted to on
We
that
can do
one
some
quilt,
fun
and
stuff.
You got all.
Maybe I can get my
beside
daughter
yourself.
Alexa here to do her quilt, because she also has her backing, her batting, and her quilt top all ready to do. Just waiting for her to do it. This one looks really straight already. Let's see, it is. I'm cutting a 2.5 inch strip, one from all 5 colors. And you guys will see what we're doing in just a second. Alright, and one more. I'm not trying to make too much extra stuff, so that's why I'm only cutting one from everything. You guys, what are you doing? A second, you'll be like, okay, I understand now. Why I'm,
Judy says that's good. She tried cleaning her iron recently. It wasn't easy.
yeah.
Don't worry,
All right.
Judy. We'll get her done.
Now, I'm going to cut each and every single one of these 3-inch pieces in half. So I'm just gonna keep it on the fold, and I'm gonna cut them in half with scissors. If I can get it in between the two, there we go. I'm just gonna cut all of these on the fold. So that'll give me 2 3-inch half strips from one. Because we don't really need that much. We needed more of this than we needed everything else. Again, these were 3 inches and the other ones are 2.5. And this is my ideas in my brain coming to life. So here we go. We're going to take this over to the sewing machine. We're going to use all 5 of these. We're going to cut each of these in half as well. I'm only using half.
Kim's jury duty was canceled, so she doesn't have to worry for 3 years at least.
So I'm only using half. So this one will go with these. And this can just go in my scraps.
Is ours 2 or 4 years, or is everybody's 3 years?
I have no
I
idea
thought ours was
because
2 or 4 years.
I got exempt, remember, because of my
I know
disability.
you did.
So one goes with that. The other half just goes in my scrap bin.
Hi, Deanna.
You
Deanna
could make
says
more
hello.
if you want, but I'm not going to bother with too much excess. One for this one. Lay that there. This can go on my scrap. Because I will be making something with all my scraps sooner or later. Probably not for like a year after my whole entire quilt process is done, but at least I'll get to it sooner or later. One for this, and last one. Here. Alright. So every 5 whites has half of a strip, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take the white, the colored strip,
That ain't
put it in
gonna
the
happen,
middle.
Judy.
and you're going to take your background fabric, which is your white, and put one on each side, and we're going to sew all these into strip sets. So again, it'll be your color in the middle and 1 3-inch white background on each side. So make all these, all 5 of these into a strip set. And then this hopefully will go pretty darn quick because I'm on my pretty darn quick machine. And they're only half strips, so.
Brenda had surgery on her hand. She went 1 month without sewing. She almost went insane.
So I'm just going to open that up. I'm going to put this piece on this other side and attach it, and just do that with all of them. You don't have to do your borders this way if you don't want to. You can just add whatever you want. If you want to keep your quilt square, keep your quilt square. But if you want it to be what I am creating right now, then this is what we're doing. This is just going to add another element of surprise. Like, oh my god. all wondering, what is she doing? All right, Scott, can you press these to the
I'll
dark?
get to work.
Press them to the
Can I
dark.
move the big beast?
Oh, yeah, duh. Yeah, I'll try to keep it nice and...
Yeah, I don't want to iron on top of the already ironed.
We're just going to move this out of the way for a second so that Scott can iron. Right there. Press it to the dark, please. All right, so now I'm going to do my next strip set.
So you want them in?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, press from the top first.
I'm going
holding
to.
It
I'm
back.
just making sure you have them both in.
All right. Open it. Oops.
If you don't have them bent in for me, it makes it hard, and I have to do it.
I'm just
So I
gonna
was just
finger
looking.
press it so that Scott can have the general idea of which way it's supposed to go. Now I'm gonna add the other side. Can you guys still see me? Do you have it on the screen facing me?
Yes. No, I have it facing my behind because
Oh.
the way I want them to see my butt. No,
It
I'm
just
facing you,
looks
Goofy.
facing the wrong way, that's all.
Okay, it's mainly facing the table at the moment. You want it 100% on you?
Oh no, it's fine, it doesn't matter.
It's on the table. My arm is a little bit in it, and most of you. There you go. Now you're all the way. Use all the way, my love. I know they don't want to see me. I wasn't trying to show them the ironing.
Alright,
You
strip
want to
set
see
number
arm.
2 done.
There, is that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
You make sure.
No, it's not fine.
See, you always get so picky.
He doesn't know how to get these seams pressed all the way back.
You always get so picky. See, I knew you wouldn't be happy. I'm not gonna do that.
I'll finger press all of them first. So that way you have no problem.
That doesn't look any different than from what I had, Goofy. You're just picky. If it's not done by you, it's not right.
Okay. Next. So just make all these into a strip set. Can you guys guess what I'm making? bet you can't guess.
What are you making, honey?
What am I making? What am I making? Trigger finger is the same as the carpal tunnel almost. It just causes, his mom has trigger finger, I have carpal tunnel. Her fingers got stuck down like this. I don't know how to.
Her surgery didn't work though on her one hand, and now
Yeah.
she's having it done on her other hand. I don't know why she'd have it done on her other hand if it didn't work on her one, but she's having the other hand done now. She was supposed to have the one hand done right after the other, but since it didn't work on the first hand, the doctor wouldn't do the other hand. So a year later we are, and now he's finally doing the other hand. It still seems to me like a waste of time, but.
Yeah, I know. I have to keep showing him though, and reminding him to keep it pressed fully back, because he gets the folds into it. So that's why I'll just finger press first.
I do not. There is nothing in there. There's nothing.
He may not see it, but I do.
Nothing.
Okay, good.
You get so picky. If it's not done by you, it's not right. You know that. That's how you are with everything. Oops. Oh, I'm good, Tim. I don't want to sew. I don't mind ironing.
Kim says, Scott, you're getting a lot of votes to see you sew.
Yeah, I know. As I said, I'm good. I don't want to sew. I don't mind ironing, but I don't want to sew. No need for sewing.
I told them Virgie why it's important to press properly so that everything stays the correct size. He knows that because it'll change the size if there's any folds or anything in it. He knows.
It is proper. She's just picky.
Vicky says, use the brother machine. It's not as fast as the Juki. That's easier to learn on.
It's popping up again.
The what?
The ID thing.
Oh.
In the middle of the live stream, once you'd enter your whatever ID.
Yeah, I don't. I'd have to ask Justin how to get rid of that or stop that from happening.
It's just weird how it just randomly pops up. Enter your Apple ID. The tablet apparently does. We don't know it though. Do you know it? It pops up all the time asking us for it. What's up with the coffee then? Am I supposed to ignore?
That's fine. All right, so now that we
I
have
don't know what you're saying, TJ. You have to come over here.
strip units that look like this. So this is a half of a white on, chop a 3-inch white or your background into 3 inches, right? Split it in half and then cut a 2.5 inch from one of every fabric that you're using in your Lonestar. This is if you want borders like me. So 3 inch, 2.5 inch. Put them together, the half on each side, your other half of your, whatever can go in your side pile.
For iPhones and Apple products.
Okay, you guys can stop talking, please. Now what we're going to do is, after they are sewn together into these lovely strip sets, I'm going to lay them all down on here. I'm just going to stagger my pieces so that no seam is on top of each other. Nice and straight, nice and straight.
So what are you going to do with them?
You'll see right now.
She was asking everybody if they could figure it out.
I'm going to grab a ruler.
I was ironing.
And what we're going to do is we're going to make a nice straight line to start. We're going to make sure all these are straight, and they are pretty darn straight. I'm going to come from my straight side and I'm going to cut off and make it perfectly straight right here at the edge.
It looks pretty straight, honey.
No, it's not. Look at that.
Alright.
It's crooked.
You might not have them laying right. That could be why the edge is up, because the piece could be angled.
Oh, that's on a line. That is on a line. See, touching edge to edge. This one on a line, just so you can see.
Okay, well then, yeah.
These edges were cut with scissors, so they're not going to be straight. On a line.
There you go. Hey, if you're going to be picky on me, I'm going to be picky on you.
That's on a line.
Hmm?
And then you see, it's not straight.
Miss Perfection here. See? Look at that. Now you're cooking with butter. Look at that one.
See? Not straight. I'm not perfect. Neither are these pieces. So I'm going to trim off the edge, make it nice and straight. Stay, stay, and stay. Pull that away. I have a nice straight edge. Now we're going to cut 2.5 inch strips. Oh, look at that. So simple. 2.5 inch strips. I'm subcutting into 2.5 inch strips like this. Just turn this whole pile into 2.5 inch strips. And no, I'm only making a small amount. If you know what I'm doing now.
I still don't know what you're doing.
I
don't think any of them have guessed
it's not
it.
going to be a long enough piece, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't think any of them have guessed it anyway.
I might end up using the other half. You never know. But for now, we're just going to use this amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, look at that. I'm getting 8. 2.5-inch strips. The rest of this is just going to go in my scrap bin. Is it the cat?
Doing what?
Puking.
Doubt it.
Well, sounds like his puke sounds. Alright. Move up out of the way. We're going to take one of these piles. And we're going to go like this. We're going to piece them together into this really cool
He hasn't left his spot
thing,
he's been on since
like this.
we came home and laid down together.
In whatever order you want to sew them in. So if you want them in the same order as your stars, which I can't see from here, so I think it goes
Oh, Katrina wants to know where we got our shirts at, honey.
dark. And that one, looking at my star right now to see the order. And it goes this one, then this one,
Do you want
then
me to
that
tell
one.
them
What?
where we got our shirts from?
Our shirts came from Patty. She had them sent from her son's shop, which I, for the life of me, cannot remember the name. But Patty is here.
Patty's on
So
here. You can tell us the name of your
She
son's
can
shop,
write
Patty.
down the name of her son's Etsy shop where he makes custom shirts. So we're going to sew them like this. So I'm going to take 4 of these piles for one, and then 4 of these piles for another, and I'm just going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again. And then we're going to dig in my scrap bin and grab a piece to finish them off. So I'm making diamonds for the top and the
Ooh.
bottom. So not only is this a wonderful star quilt, it's also going to have some diamonds that are made from squares. So this is how this works. And hopefully you could see. I like this order right here. Just like that. Yes. I'm going to repeat it over and over and over again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one, and I'm going to take the other, and I'm going to put them together
Lisa says that
offset
will be beautiful.
like this. So you can see right here. There's only one seam you're nesting, and that's each bottom seam. So I'm going to go like this and hook that one on there and sew that on here like this. So they're not the same. We're just going to sew half of it on there. And you'll see in a second what it's going to look like.
A bit ago when Maxine was here, she said hi to Maxine.
Okay, so I'm going to press that back, and I'm going to grab the next piece, and I'm going to put it on there like this. And I'm going to nest that bottom seam, put this under here, and sew it on.
Darlene says beautiful borders.
This is only going on the top and bottom, so just going to press, attach, press, attach.
Do you want me to iron each one as you go?
Nope.
Joe
So I'm
says
just
that's
gonna-
cool.
Do this, lining up the next one with the bottom. It doesn't take too long to make these. Grab the next one. So you're making this like staggered looking thing. It'll get trimmed, don't worry. So this is if you want to do the same border as me, this is what I'm doing.
And Vicky tells Joe you're a lucky girl. It's pretty close.
So it's going to lay like this, and we will be trimming it after we add an end on each side. So now I'm just going to keep repeating the same thing over and over again until all of these are done. And notice it's probably going to be the correct size that I need, just from my brain, because I've done these before. So I'm just going to keep attaching, but I'm going to just do all these on their own first, and then I'll put them all together, because that way the order doesn't get lost. So it was this one, that one, that one, that one. So this is my order. I'm just going to put them all in that order on top of each other, and just grab one at a time. Maybe just the length I need. Doesn't seem like it, but it will be what I want. So I just need 1 and 2, and again, just remember that you're putting it on top of and above So piece 1, piece 2 goes up above. So that bottom seam on piece 2 goes to the top seam of piece 1.
Joe says it keeps getting better and better and better. Brenda has to go to sleep. She says she'll write this out again. I love it. I'm going to do it too.
Awesome sauce. Alright, so I'm just going to keep pressing these all the same direction.
Yes, Fergie, this is going to Slowing Down Joe.
Yep.
She commissioned Tiff to make it.
I get so excited when people come to me to make quilts that I just like go in above and beyond. I guess it's in my DNA to do that. Go above and beyond. Alright.
Yep, all the directions will be on the Facebook.
Well, technically, because after I did the whole star part, this is all verbal. I don't even know how to, besides just writing down the numbers. I could take a picture, I guess.
Well, this part was out of the blue off the top of your head, right?
Yeah. I could do my best, though, to write the math numbers to make this. So this piece is going to now go to the end of this piece, like that.
Oh, that's looking cool.
You'll see what happens here. It's going to create this really long...
But see, I don't see it in my head like you do. I have to actually see it to know what the heck you're talking about.
So once that's pressed back like this. So now you can see it's getting longer. And obviously it gets trimmed. You guys have never seen this. If you guys have never seen this kind of border before, or this kind of piecing, just know that it gets trimmed. Don't worry. It may look weird at first, but it does get trimmed. So just keep building them and then adding them on. Building them and adding them on. And since we're doing a top and a bottom, we'll be doing this whole entire process twice.
You want me to iron any of that as you go?
Nope. I'll get it all.
Kim says it's going to be beautiful.
So remember, I'm adding my bottom to the piece that I just added to the top seam of the previous piece. It helps it go together really easily. Next. It better be beautiful. Oh, it will be. I'm confident in myself enough to know it'll be awesome. I definitely am getting really good at teaching on the fly, right?
Yep.
Because you guys just learn like random things. So now this piece is just going to get attached. So again, the bottom seam of this one goes to the top seam of this one. So they're just going to go right sides together.
Okay. Vicky asked for a close-up, so I can
Okay.
just bring
So
this sucker
the
right on
bottom
up there.
seam of your previous piece goes to the top seam of your, piece right there. So it goes like this. So it looks like, oh wow, that's so weird looking, but it comes together. Trust me, it will look amazing when it's done. And this is just an easy way to make a nice blingy type border.
Blingy.
Yeah, blingy border.
Blingy.
You want to add more bling to a quilt? Put this together.
Yeah, and then a popular word these days, bling.
Well, without dropping all my pieces. So here we got, it's getting longer, as you can see. I don't know where I just attached. Oh, I just attached right there. Just pressing it back like that. So you'll end up with this long piece.
Vicky says
I'm gonna
that's awesome.
One more, and then I'll make all those. So let me just show you how this one goes first. So each individual
Hold
piece.
on, let me get the camera over there.
Goes like this. You're not connecting them like this. You can do them this way if you want to, but I always do it to the top so that I can remember top to bottom. They go right sides together, nesting that seam. You're going to have all this emptiness, but I have a crossover because I'm going to be trimming off a lot of excess. Not a lot, but that's why I went with 3 inches on the fly like that, because I don't want to have too much waste.
Jim says it's gonna be awesome.
But you guys, at least in this, are also learning how to make these types of pieces. So a way you can do these kind of things too if you want. So that one goes here. And just lining it up. Press it back. You're going to have like these weird pieces that stick out. When I press the whole thing, all that's getting chopped off anyway. So I'm going to press this.
Charla says it's beautiful. It has a southwestern feel.
It has a little bit of everything feel. That's for sure. Press it back. And one more. Oops. Just hold your seam. If you want to pin it before you put it on, pin it, but I don't think it's necessary. Alright, so I'm going to finger press this one back now. And then add it to my long piece right here. So this next one goes on like that. And then I'll have this really long piece and we'll press it and show
Hi, Linda.
you what's next.
Linda Wagner says hi.
Hello. Alright, so I'm going to line that up. It does get kind of harder to hold the longer it gets, but just know that it goes pretty easily. Alright, so here's this long piece.
Okay, I'm going to come back over to the stand
How
now.
to press it, so you can see it's not as long as the whole quilt top yet, but I'm just going to add 2 ends to cap this end off. And then we'll be able to trim it up, and then I'll put the white to cap it off, and we'll center this on the quilt. So let me press this real quick.
Do you want me to come over here and show them how you're doing that? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to press it the way I've been finger pressing all these seams. So I have them all, the seams going this way, so that's why I just laid it out like this. We're just going to press it all nice and flat. Don't worry about these little pieces sticking out because that's all getting chopped off. As long as the patchwork itself is pressed back and nice and flat. So you can see it's just going to push those open.
Squeak getting an up close and personal debut here.
You guys got to know why this is Squeak. Alright, so let's pull this down. As you can see, it's almost the length I needed. We'll add to it as I figure out my finished length after I put another end cap piece on here. Okay.
Margaret says best way to learn.
Alright, so this is the unit we're making. I'm going to cut one, grab from my scrap bin a piece so that we can add it right here to this end so that when I go to cut this, it'll be nice and perfectly squared.
Hi, Tom.
So you
Tom
guys
says hello.
already know from the leftovers that I've been keeping, and you should be doing it too with your quilts. Just grab a background piece because you're going to have tons of scrap of that, remember? And I'm going to cut myself just a 3-inch piece off of here. And I'm going to do that one for each side. So I'm going to have one for that, and I'm just going to split this in half because it really doesn't need to be this long. I'm just going to fold it in half. It's just a 3-inch piece for now by however long my little scrap is. So it's like 3 by 6 inches. And I'm just going to add this one to this end right there. And then I'm going to add the other piece to this end right there. That way when I go to trim everything, so I'm going to cut this one into a 3-inch strip also. And then this one will be for the next unit. So now you know why I keep the scraps, that way I don't have to cut another strip off the yardage and then it end up in the scraps as well when I don't even use the whole thing. So again, I'm just going to fold this one in half because this will be for the second unit that we make. And I'm not wasting anything. I'm using up my scraps as I go too. So that would be for that. So let me attach this one on here real quick so that way it's done completely. So I'm just going to lay it on here. Kind of down this way. I want, you know, it's not fully on, it's not fully laying completely up like this. I want it just kind of on there to where it's covering enough to where I get a nice straight corner out of it. So it's kind of almost center on there. And then add the other one to the other side. Make sure that my fabric is tone on tone, so I just got to make sure that it's the correct direction. Alright, and I'm just going to finger press that out and give it to Scott to press that end.
What am I doing?
Just press both ends. I finger pressed it out already. They're just need to be pressed.
Just the very end?
Yep. And now we're gonna put
Okay.
these together. So I'm gonna try to recall what order I had them in. I think it went this and that, and that, that, and that, right? Yes. Okay. So I'm just gonna stack them all up and just start sewing them all together. Because I'm gonna try to do this quickly, like. That way I can get these on and you guys can see what it's going to look like, because I don't want to be on here forever. I've been giving myself a 2-hour mark because that seems to be about every time.
You've been on 2 hours.
I've been on 2 hours every time, and I always have to pee at the 2-hour mark. Alright, so I'm going to start attaching these now. Get these all sewn together.
7 minutes, it'll be 2 hours.
Well, hopefully I can at least get these attached, trim and attached.
It's okay, you do your thing. I'm just
When I'm on a roll, I'm on a roll.
I forgot how many minutes this time was off on this tablet. Okay, 13 minutes. Yeah, that's right.
Alright, so I'm going to just repeat the whole process again. Finger pressing as I go, grabbing the next piece, putting it to the top of the previous seam.
Katrina says, I can help you write a pattern. Honey?
Okay. Yeah, I really suck at the whole pattern writing thing. I tried it. This just doesn't work for me.
You can always talk to her on the Facebook group or email her. She's always available. Especially after your surgery, huh? You'll need something to do.
Yep. And last one. So you can continuously keep adding them, or you can,
I want to know, Katrina,
Make
has Sherry
sets.
seen this purse yet? The purse was for Sherry, right? Has Sherry seen it? Did she like it? What did you say? I'm sorry, I talked over you.
I don't remember now. Oh, I was saying that you can continuously add them, or you can make them in groups of 5 and then put all groups of 5 together. I'm just going to keep continually adding them.
I didn't mean to talk over you. Oh, sorry.
Again, I'm just finger pressing them all back because it makes it easier when I get to the iron.
Thank you, Jim. Should reminded everybody a thumbs up. You want more?
All right, guys, it's a piece of candy time.
Do you want more juice?
Choose a piece. Yeah, you want that one? Okay, sure, why not?
Yes, no.
Oh, no, I'm just gonna drink my water.
Okay.
We're gonna have Russell Stover's marshmallow caramel. I couldn't even say marshmallow. I said Marshall.
I saw. I just right here. I said I saw. Yep, I saw you say it. If I did see, I watched you.
Mmm. Good, good, good. Yummy, yummy. You guys enjoying it? I am. Pretty tasty.
How are you hungry? I'm still full for lunch.
I just need a piece of candy.
Bernie says I want one with caramel. We got all kinds, Bernie. It has a little everything in there. Huh, honey?
Makes me want to eat like 30 of them. Now I got that taste in my mouth. I'm like, I don't want it. I could probably eat a whole package, which is not good.
You're goofy.
Not very healthy. So this thing kind of gets awkward to hold the more and more pieces you keep attaching if you're doing the whole thing in a row, but just bear with it. Hold the most of it up on your table. Use your arm to hold it as you go. You know?
Here, maybe I should turn it over so they can see more of you sewing. They see more of the table since you're talking about sewing. Katrina says, too much for my brain. I love watching you. Vicky says, I got Werther's. Yum. We have some Werther's in there,
Werther's
too,
in
I
there,
think.
yes.
Yeah, it's a mixture. There's a lot of everything. I like Werther's, too, though, baby. They're good. I'm going to take this out and put it in the sink, man.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What also helps is having the knee lift and actually utilizing it. That way I don't have to pin everything and I can just reach over and use my knee, holding everything in place. I don't know what it is, but it's so much fun. Highly enjoying myself here. Teresa says Werther's are one of my favorites, next to Russell Stover's. Yeah, I love them. So good. Back to the beginning. So there's 5 more pieces to attach, and then the 2 end caps, and then I'll press the whole thing. And then I'll have these ready to trim and attach to the quilt. And I'm also going to put this in my mouth before I get there. Time for the mint. I like, so big it's hard to talk. I like to suck the chocolate off the mint before the mint comes into my mouth. I don't know why. It like melts in my mouth.
All the goofy things you're saying.
I was trying to talk with food in my mouth, which isn't.
I hear
it's
you.
not a very polite thing to do, but it's so good. All right, last one.
Teresa says Werther's are one of my favorites next to Russell Stover's. I think they're all getting a kick out of watching you.
Okay. I gotta make sure I don't got chocolate on my front teeth so it looks like I just ate a pile of poo.
Oh my god.
I don't think that's a pretty good sight for being on camera with a big old brown chunk on your tooth.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I know I'm weird, right? Alright, so I'm adding my
You're a nut.
ends. Remember, I'm not putting it way to the bottom and I'm not putting it way to the top. I'm just centering it on that piece.
They're laughing at you.
I know I'm weird,
Bernie
right?
says, do you use a knee lift? Does it raise your pressure foot too?
No, it just raises the foot.
Jim says silly.
The pressure gauge is up here. You just undo that. Your knee lift will still lift up and down even if this is released. Alright, so I'm going to press this set now.
You made it yet? Oh, you're doing the whole thing. Never mind.
And then we're going to bring this over here because we are going to cut it in a second after I press this.
Should I turn the camera so I can see Ryan?
Oh, that's fine.
Judy says good night. Good night, Judy.
Good night.
I'm
Thanks
sure
for hanging out.
we'll see you tomorrow, maybe, possibly.
Where did I press all these darn buttons? That way.
Kim says, I love Russell Stover's, but can't always afford it. I love their chocolate-covered caramel.
Oh.
I'm not a big caramel guy. I like chocolate and I like peanut butter.
Well, I got my little
Peanut butter
package
guy.
from the dollar store. So,
Yeah. They're little, but hey, for $1,
for $1 you get a couple pieces.
not many. If you're like me, I eat the whole bag at once, but Tiff makes hers last.
I don't eat a ton of candy all at once. I have bad teeth. They hurt when I eat candy.
Oh, Virgie asked, do you like your Panasonic iron?
Yes I do, but I haven't been using it because now come when I'm sitting down and don't want to stand at all whatsoever iron, that's what I use it for now. Both pieces are nice and pressed. Now what I am going to do is we're going to trim this. So, I'm going to lay my ruler on here, right here, and I'm going to use my 45-degree angle that's on the ruler to line it up with an angle, and I'm also going to come pretty much right to the edge of this, so it looks like I'm going to get about, hold on, let's see it right now. I'm going to get a 3.5 inch piece off of here. So I'm going to line the 45 and then I'm also going to stay away from these points. So I've got my thing about, I don't know, 3/8 away from it. That way I'm not hitting it. We're going to line this up and I'm going to trim it all the way down. I'm just making sure that that 3/8 mark is right there.
I'm there with you, Linda. I like the Reese's peanut butter eggs too.
So I'm just going to cut that. So all these I don't need. I'm going to discard them. Again, I'm going to line this up about 3/8 of an inch away. You can do a whole 1/2 of an inch if you want to. There's plenty of room to do it. But I'm trying to get to a 3.5 inch on here. So I'm just cutting and pulling.
Vicky makes homemade Reese's bars. They're so good. They sound good.
Alright, I'm making sure that everything is lined up nicely. Oops, don't move, don't wiggle. Just moving those out of the way.
Katrina used to create blueprints, honey. Now that's nifty.
Yes.
Seems like a lot you're cutting off, huh?
It does, but you gotta cut them all off. So I'm just
That's what-
lining it up.
It'll be cool.
Make sure everything stays nice and straight the whole time, because if it moves or adjusts, then you can end up with the wrong measurement or cut. 3/8, lining it up, 3/8. like I said, there's enough room to do a half, but we're gonna cut a 3.5 inch strip.
I don't think I could ever do blueprints. They're kind of confusing.
Alright, so all this I'm not going to throw away because I can make quarter square, half square triangles with all that another time. But for now, it's going to go on the floor. So. And now I'm going to turn the whole thing around like that. So now I'm going to use that whole entire straight edge that I
Fergie
just
says
made.
you make it so easy to create that border.
And I am going to go to
Judy says definitely keeps it real.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, Sue Ann.
1, 3, 4,
So Hanson's
5
better late
eighths.
than never.
I know that is a weird number. No, let's do 3 and 1, 2, 3/4. 3 3/4 actually works. 3 3/4. That's perfect. 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 Looks like it. Right there. Yeah. Come on. That actually works with the 8ths for me. You guys can cut yours to 3.5 if you need. I'm doing 3 3/4 because it actually came out perfect. I cut it on that 8th. This is just how you make it. So if you want to make these for yourself or any quilt, whatever, you could totally make it whatever
Fergie
you
says
want.
better more than not enough, Tiff.
I'm
And
just
Katrina,
lining up my.
that'll be a cool surprise for Sherry when she comes out of the coma. They're gonna give her the purse hopefully this weekend. She'll be out. She's still in the medical induced coma.
Oh, that works. Alright, so I'm just trimming it as I go, little by little. Probably would be easier if I used the length of my cutting table, but I'm just using the width for now, it's okay.
Really, Vicky? Vicky says they're on YouTube and it's no baking at all. Like the homemade Reese's peanut butter.
Alright, here we go, coming to the end of it. So I have a 3 3/4 inch long strip, right? Now I just need to trim those edges off.
Sue
So
Ann
all I'm
says
gonna
the
do
blues are gorgeous.
is come all the way to its furthest edge. I'm going to line up my 45-degree angle as well as my end, and I'm just going to trim it right here because we're just going to add to it anyway when we add the rest of the white to a 3 3/4 inch on each end to make it the length of the quilt. We do want it to be the actual size of the quilt. Alright, so here is one piece. See that?
Oh, that's awesome, honey.
So we're just going to carefully set this aside because we need to add the 3 3/4 inch piece to the ends of it. A strip, but we're going to cut this one first. So I'm going to try to make this one go a little bit faster. So I'm cutting about, I'm lining the point up at my 1, 2, 3/8 away from the edge, also lining up my 45-degree angle. And cutting. Make sure everything stays nice and straight. That's what pressing helps keep everything nice and straight too. Everything lines right up. And this adds a fun addition to any quilt. You can do this to any quilt. Any quilt, and it'd be really awesome. Turn it around, cut the 3 3/4 inch, oh yeah, perfect, 3 3/4 inch. And I do all this the long part of everything before I do the end caps. Just so that I know I'm a little bit more accurate. 3/4, all the way. See, look at all this. This will make tons of half square triangles.
Yeah, that is awesome. You can use those. I know you will.
Yep, I know I will too.
You use everything. Which is one thing I love about you. No waste.
Perfect. Again, I'm going to cut my ends.
Okay, now you've been on over 2 hours.
That's
2 hours and 5 minutes.
That's fine.
6 minutes.
They're both going to be, these two pieces are probably going to be different sizes, and that's totally fine because we're going to center them onto the quilt anyway. We're going to put pieces on the end, center them onto the quilt, and then pin them in place, and then sew them on. So they're both different sizes, but here it is. So we're going to get our white out. And we're just going to cut 2 3 3/4 inch pieces because I don't think I need more than 2.
Yes, Jim, she's saving every one of those little cutoffs. He asked about your cutoffs, if they're big enough to save.
Yep.
Yep, she's
So,
going to make some half square triangles.
2 3 3/4 inch pieces is all I'm cutting. So 1 2 3 3/4 inch. And yes, I'm cutting 2, but that's okay. I'll have a little bit of waste that goes in my scrap pile, but
Yes, Sue Ann, this is all from Joanne's.
yep. I try to keep costs down, especially when I make awesome stuff for my clients. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to cut these in half. And we're going to add 1 to each end of both of those units. And you'll see right now. So we're going to grab a unit. And you can just read. I'm going to turn this off.
What are we turning on?
Oh, I have the video on here too.
Oh.
That I need to add in my third space. So.
Do you need my phone
No,
or
it's
something?
fine. I don't need it right now.
Okay.
Alright, so now I'm going
Read
to
the
add.
comments. That's what I do.
Remember I cut it? Okay. So now I'm just going to add 1 to this end, 1 to the other end, and I'm going to do that on both pieces. And then we will center it on the quilt and then cut from there. So I'm just going to lay this on here. I back stitched. We're going to put the other one on this side, right sides together. My selvages are still on there. It's going to get cut off anyway. So I'm just going to put it right sides together. So there'll be a very, very long piece that looks like this. We're going to cut it to size though. We're just going to
Is
throw
the
it.
white Kona cotton?
No.
Yes.
It's a white on, it's a tone on tone, white on white.
Am I supposed to iron those seams that you just did?
Yeah, if you could please.
Yeah.
Just outward, it's no big deal.
Does it matter which way the seam goes?
It's already going towards the outway. It doesn't want to go towards the seam.
Okay.
Seams don't want to go towards seams. They go towards the outwards. Away from.
But okay.
It's like a natural thing with fabric. It goes away from. All right. So here's my 2 super long pieces, and I'm gonna show you how to center them onto the quilt, and then we will build the rest of the borders, which is gonna go pretty quick from now. From now, you know what I'm saying. The next step goes pretty quick. I'm quick with borders. This part was just a little add-on for some extra flair. You gotta do this one too.
Okay.
I'm gonna fold
I'm
this
going
in
over.
half, exactly in half. You'll know because you're going to line the two seams up, and then you're gonna come over here, flatten it all out, make your mark for your center right here, and put a pin at that center. That way you know when you get to the quilt, which has already got plenty of centers to go from. Here's my pin that says, there's my center, okay? That's marked. And we're gonna lay that onto the quilt. Is this done too?
2 seconds it will be.
We're gonna grab the quilt top.
Yeah, get your part done. Don't rush me.
And just to be on the
Genius at
100% side here, we're gonna fold it in half, same exact thing. Fold the whole thing in half. Find your center, which is obvious because there is a seam in the center. Just in case you didn't have a seam and you didn't piece it with a seam. I have a seam in the center, so that's how I know it's my center. So I'm gonna lay this right here. We're gonna grab this piece, and it's gonna be going on the top and bottom. So we're gonna put it right here, like this, and that's my center. So I'm just gonna lay this right sides together, and I'm gonna put the pin in both pieces now. And the same when I added the other border. I'm just gonna slide this down and start pinning this on here, like this. So I'm just gonna put a couple pins in it, both directions. And see, I have, like these pieces, literally, I only needed a couple inches. Look how much hangover. I literally could have just cut one piece, but I wanted to be safe. I knew it was gonna be close. In my brain, I could see it because I've built these borders before. So I knew I was gonna be very close. Right here.
I'm gonna plug this back in. See you all tomorrow.
Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it hanging there. I'll cut it off when I'm completed. I just pin it to the other side now. I'm all about just doing it and then cutting. Just going to put some pins in here. It's as if it was the same exact size by pinning it on.
Lisa says, wow, this is a rare animal we are witnessing. Tiff is pinning.
Yep.
That is hilarious. She does do it sometimes, everyone. You got to see it live.
Alright, so now I'm going to sew this on. Make sure that you're sewing it on the correct one. It's going on the top and the bottom. I back stitched to start, and now I'm just going to sew it on. And just watch all these seams because they weren't pressed perfectly. So you want to just make sure that you're holding them down so that it doesn't get flipped or funky. There's a lot of seams, and it's all bias, the whole entire thing. Very carefully just sewing it on. And that's probably the part that's going to take the longest. Everything else will be super duper quicker.
Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie, yes, how you doing?
I am just fine, enjoying myself here, making a really super long video while enjoying myself, creating
As long as
right
you're having
here
fun.
in front of your eyes.
As long as you're having fun, keep going.
back stitch. While I'm sitting right here, find my scissors. And I'm gonna fold this extra piece back. But I'm not gonna toss them either because I have a use for them very shortly. So don't let them go very far because they're gonna get used. Because I really didn't have to cut that much, but I did. But that's okay. So I'm just folding it equal onto itself, nice and straight, and then just cutting excess off. Let me press this real quick so you guys can see.
Goodness gracious, Sherry was in a coma for over 6 months now. How long was our neighbor in a coma? When she had her induced coma. Do we know?
She slipped into a coma on her own, and then they induced it the rest of the way instead of waking her. I think she was in for 6 months too.
Yeah. Our neighbor was in a diabetic coma. She recovered quite well though now. And it's all over and said and done with, so hope Sherry does well too. That looks awesome.
I'm pressing the seam down into the loose border part. The
Yeah,
floating.
I can turn the
part.
camera over so they can see.
I'm pressing the seam down to the floating part, which is the spacer I put in between.
Hi Kip. Kip says star quilts are still wrapping around the shoulders of the recipient as a symbolic way to honor and protect that person on their journey through life.
Alright, so
Given is a universal tradition.
this is what it looks like. I kind of can't hold it completely out so you guys can get that general idea. I added onto it like this. So it has this first border that we added of the background fabric so that it spaces it, right? And then added this, okay? But we're not going to add another spacer next. We're going to just go with the next borders, but we're going to do the sides first, okay? So just know that this is ending like this. This is just elongating the quilt a little bit on the top and the bottom. So now all I have to do is put this sides on.
Bonnie
Again,
says love it.
If you didn't make your seam go in the center like I did, center your quilt and then center your piece. Find the center.
Joe says love.
And in the center. Put it together. Alright, so I'm going to find my center. And I'm going to pin the whole thing on here.
Joyce says love, love it.
Alright, I just creased it for now because I don't have my pin next to me.
Do you want me to get you pins?
Nope, I got it. Alright, so now I'm going to pin the whole thing on now. So I'm just going to lay those out. We're going to lay this on here. Pinning it on.
Teresa says there are no words to describe how beautiful it is.
I know, I could like totally enter this in this year's quilt show, but the owner would have to wait another like 7 months to get her quilt because the show is in November again this year.
Yeah.
They are actually doing the quilt show this year. This is a show-worthy quilt. Tiffy could win more awards.
Hi Linda. Linda's getting ready to go to bed, but she wanted to pop in and say hi.
Alright, let me pin this side on now.
Sue Ann says it's absolutely stunning, Tiff.
Stay. Stay.
Well, the last Lonestar you made for a customer won you 2 awards.
That wasn't a Lonestar though, that was a Mariner's
Okay,
a Mariner's star.
Star. Sorry, it had a big star in it.
Yeah. It was a star around a circle, technically. And if you guys are curious about that, there are videos of me making that too. I definitely like to challenge myself with stuff like this.
Did you take any videos of the actual quilt show?
Yeah, there's a quilt show video
Yeah, that's
on
what I thought.
on my page
That's what I thought.
from 2 years ago. Alright, now sew this one on, and I'm going to do the same procedure once it's sewn on, then I'll trim off the excess.
Okay, Lisa. Lisa forgot to vote. She's going to go vote.
Yeah, don't forget you guys could do that. You don't have to, but if you would like to see if I could possibly win a virtual quilt show. Oh man.
Kip says
That's
it looks
close
so
again.
beautiful.
I want to start entering shows outside of my area. Now, this is the virtual show is actually the first one outside of my area because it's based in California. So I want to enter shows like I want to make something super duper fancy for the Houston shows
Yeah,
and
but
things
both of
like
us hate
that.
traveling. How are we gonna go to a Houston
No, you
show?
send it in. I don't
Oh.
even have to be there for it. It gets
Oh,
sent in.
okay.
I mean, I could be there for it. That would be awesome, but.
Yeah, I thought you
And
had
even
to
if
be
I
there.
did a show like that, I could always ask my supporters to try to help me get there. Because then they'll want to meet me there too.
Then again, no one's gonna come and drive us there. We don't like traveling. We don't like doing it.
Alright, I backstitch and now I'm going to stitch the whole thing on.
We've been to Texas once. Just turn around
Yeah.
and come right back. We're not happy. That was to look at a house. That was a different story, guys. So if it was for a quilt show, I think she'd be much happier.
I would have to make do with the weather. I think I'm running out of thread. Not yet, though. But soon.
Teresa says, we will help you in a heartbeat.
She would what?
Help you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the quote could be sent in via mail. They have a whole procedure of doing that. I've watched the video on how the Paducah show does the sending, how people send their quotes in.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty interesting. They fold them all a certain way, and they get handled with special gloves. Like I did my last show, it was handled with gloves, but they were really particular. They put tissue paper between the quilt as it's folded and all sorts of stuff. It's really cool.
That is cool.
At least it was for all the fancy quilt stuff they were, doing. And that's what I would be making for a show like that, as a fancy quilt.
As long
Something
as
that
you
would
enter-
never be put on a bed.
As long as you enter the one in the room
Yeah.
that I keep telling you.
Oh, my
Isn't it something
Diamond's
called
a
a
Girl's
Hunter
Best
Star?
Friend. Oh, the Hunter Star?
Oh, that's on Etsy that you say is show
The
quilted.
yellow one, yes.
I think it's nice. I want you to enter it. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah, I want to enter that and a Girl's Best Friend quilt.
Vicky said it would be nice if you could go to that place I voted. Don't know where.
Oh, the virtual quilt show, that one. They're not in person right now. That's why I entered the virtual one, because there was no actual shows. I watched for shows that I could enter.
Teresa says you could see Diane. She's in Texas.
Yes, I could.
I don't know what you're saying there, Kip. It's if you guys how.
Huh?
I don't know what Kip's saying. If you guys how. Don't know what you're saying there, Kip.
Alright, I'm going to fold this on top of itself. Everything's nice and perfect. And again, I'm not going to toss these. I could use these. Got the other side off.
Hi, Billy. Billy says the Houston quilt show is amazing, so miss all the quilt shows in Texas.
Alright, I'm going to go press this. Put that back. I'm trying to be careful because they
Well,
are...
Billy, if we ever get to Texas for a quilt show, you'll have to come also.
I'm trying to be careful with it because on the bottom, these seams right here are all they can open at any time. So I'm just being very, very careful as I move this around.
I got a good friend in Texas. I gotta find out where exactly he's at.
Who, Paul?
Yeah, we could stay there. You know?
Yeah.
Because I ain't doing your thing, driving there and turning around and driving right back. We're at least spending the night. I need sleep. You'd like his wife, too. She's really nice. You could get a quilting.
Alright, I am just going to leave this right here. I'm going to leave it to where you guys can kind of see what's going on. Scott can show it.
Yes, I will.
It's not going to stay. Here, grab the other end and just hold it up. Sort of. So this is where I'm at so far. Come down so they can see it in the screen. I can't pull on it because it's all biased and it's going to want to stretch along this edge, but I can kind of hold it up for you guys to see. So you can see it's centered in there, like that. Let me come towards me a little. If I stretch on it, it's going to take the size and change it, so we need to just be very careful at this point. Be very, very careful at this point. Okay, so now I'm going to add to these sides right here. With the white, I'm just going to go down these sides now. Keep that out of the way. We're going to not move it around. And we're going to use the white now. With 2.5 inch strips, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can turn the camera.
You're in it.
Oh, well, I'm going to be sewing.
Okay, sorry.
So those extra pieces that I said we can reuse, we're going to reuse. So I'm going to cut 4 strips, 2.5 inch strips from this, and then I'm going to trim these down into 2.5 inch strips to be the excess because I need a little bit more than 2 strips. So I'm just going to do it by using up the things that I'm cutting off all at the same time.
Joe says so awesome. Yes, Billy, we know Texas is huge. We drove there to the very edge and back.
Up in the top panhandle.
Yep. To the Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana border. We went all up in there. Drove there, turned around, and drove back.
Well, we stayed the night at a hotel, but...
Yeah, but I mean, we spent 17 hours driving there and 18 hours driving back.
And I did not sleep that whole entire time either.
Yeah.
Not in the car, not in the motel. It was a crazy couple days. Alright.
Bonnie's going to New Hampshire tomorrow and back to Vermont. She's bringing quilts to family.
I'm going to cut the selvage off of these real quick. That way everything is ready and cut, ready to sew. So these 2 strips are going to get sewn together, and then I'm going to cut one of these down into a 2.5 inch strip, and the rest will just go in my scrap bin. I'm just going to cut a 2.5 inch strip off of here, and that will get sewn to the end of it, and then I don't have to worry about all the extra fabric and cutting another strip because these are already cut for me. So see, I have more for my waste bin, and that goes with those 2. And then we'll put these 2 together.
Lisa's going to stay with 2 of her grandkids for 4 days all by herself. That gives her 2 days of sewing while they're in school. She says it's a win-win.
Awesome. Yeah, that works. Alright, and then these will get one of these also. So I'm just going to cut a 2.5 inch strip off of this piece. Nothing goes to waste. And that will get added to these 2. That way it's long enough because I did just add 3 3/4 and 2.5 inches on both ends. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4 on each end in total. Something like that, right? I'm probably off by an inch, but you know. So I'm going to hook these 2 together.
Oh, Teresa said earlier she would let you get away with driving down and back. Where's Teresa at?
Teresa McBrayer,
Yeah.
Michigan.
Oh, well, gee, that's a bit of a drive
It's a piece
there.
of a candy time, guys.
Yeah, you've been on over 2.5 hours now.
I'm just gonna leave the jar open so I
Yeah.
can smell all the candy
Yeah.
goodness. Alright, come on this end, add my next little piece. It still even has the salvage on it, which I'm just gonna leave there because it's gonna get trimmed because I'm not using that full. I'm gonna have like 2 inches left over probably. Okay, that one's ready. Now this.
Fergie says water, now candy.
Grab this end. Add this end to it. Making sure they're right sides together because it is tone on tone, and at some angles it's hard to tell. Alright, so now I'm ready to attach these to the sides. I'm actually not trimming them exactly the size, I'm just going to sew them on down. So now it's not going on these, it's going on the empty one because we need to at least balance things out just a little bit. We don't want it to get too tall or long or whatever you want to call it before it starts growing in width, because then it would be kind of funky looking. So we need to equally balance it out. So now I'm going to add these.
Balance is the key.
1, 2, 3. Oh, that's because those go over there. I was like, what the heck are those? I knew I sewed something wrong. Alright, right sides together. I'm going to make sure because sometimes I've turned them over. I'm going to line this end up. And I'm going to sew on down. I'm also going to make sure I pick this darn thing up because it's going to get heavy. I'm on a roll. Finish this quilt. And if you're just tired of me and you need to go, go. It's okay. There's a replay. You can watch the rest later.
Yeah, well, you can go and watch. I don't know. Some people have those things too, but it's okay. We understand.
I'm like one of those Lifetime movies. They just last forever. It's like it never shuts off. Oh, I just barely needed that. Or not, I didn't need it. The whole 2 strips were worth it. Oh my goodness, I didn't even need to add those. Shoo!
There was an actual sneeze. That chew thing sounded quite fake there.
I was trying not to make it blow boogers out
Okay.
because I have snot building up, and if I was things regular,
Do you need a tissue so you can blow your nose? Is that what you're getting at?
snotted myself.
Do you need a tissue? I can get you a tissue.
Nope. Alright, so I'm just gonna lift this on.
Joyce says bless you.
I didn't totally need to add that 3rd piece, but it was there just in case. Look at that.
Fine does too. God bless you, my love. God bless
Guess I just don't know how to do math, but that's okay, because I'm fine with it. Alright, other side.
They're all saying.
Thank you, everybody. It's
God bless you, my
it's
love.
the
God
thread
bless
and
you.
fabric dust that makes me sneeze in here. Right side.
Lisa says the moon is unbelievably yellow tonight. It looks like butter.
Really? It was still out at like 10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, it was
the
out
moon
today.
was still out.
Yeah.
And it looked pretty darn big. So I probably won't see the moon here until like 4 in the morning or later. Everything's just like trying to run away from me.
Bonnie says I'm making a quilt for all my family.
That's good. I made quilts for my family too. Lots of them.
Yeah, you got them. My mom is even commissioning her to make another one for them. Her next one she has to make.
Earlier it sounded like I was running out of bobbin. Now it sounds like I'm really running out of bobbin. I don't know. Maybe it just made a weird sound earlier. Alright, just cutting it to size because I don't do anything correct, you know, in the quilting. I've never had a problem, and I'm the long armor of my own stuff, so technically it's okay for me. Alright, I'm going to press these back and then 2 more borders to add and it'll be done. Woohoo! I get this heavy beast. This thing is like so much fabric because of all the little cuts. It gets heavy. It's wanting to fall and yank and pull. Stay.
Vicky says she's making a quilt for her youngest great-grandkid. The older one got a crocheted blanket years ago.
Ah! The cord's tangled.
I see. I see. Bonnie says I hand quilt every one of them.
Okay, I'm still having to be careful though because I still have loose top and bottom for now. Just being very careful. And then we'll get that next border on.
Vicky did the mile-a-minute crochet ones.
I don't know what that is.
Neither do I. But then again, I don't know anything in the craft world. If it was the gym world, I'd have more of an idea of what y'all are talking about. You want me to plug in the other iron?
Nope, it's fine.
Oh, that's cool, Katrina.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave this right here.
Sherry
One,
made
two,
quilts for everyone in the family, and they didn't respect them,
four.
so then she started making them for service members lost in the line of duty and Christmas stockings for the kids. That's cool.
All right, I need. Don't talk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 8. All right, now I got to remember which one of these I bought to be the next border. Oh, it
Goodbye,
is this
Katrina. Yep.
one and this one. Okay.
You have a good night, darling.
The next 2 borders are the final borders, so that this gets finished off. So we're gonna cut 8 strips of this at 2.5. Let's do 2.5 inches, and then the next and final border will be this one, and I'm gonna cut it at like 5 inches or 5.5 inches. We'll see when I get there. All right, so I'm just gonna cut 8 2.5-inch strips. If I can straighten it up right there.
Anything I can do to help?
Nope, I'm just gonna
Okay.
cut all this and sew them on and be done.
Okay.
So you guys are with me for like, I don't know, probably like half an hour more. That's how long?
3.5 hours. I'm quitting at 3.
Okay, then we'll just get off after these are cut, and you guys, and then we'll sew them on
You
tomorrow.
can stay on all night. I don't care. But the battery's dying on this, and I'm gotta go lay down soon. You don't have to get off just 'cause I'm tired.
But I'm gonna have to go pee soon, and I need to eat still. I didn't eat.
But that's on you. You want to eat at 10 o'clock at night, that's on you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 more.
I didn't eat. Lunch was big enough. Margaret asked, will this be a twin size?
No, full. It'll be a full that'll fit on a queen. Put it that way. I
That's
always
okay,
make
Lisa.
I always make my clients' quilts just a little bit bigger, purposely, so that, you know, like if it's for, say, a teenage girl and she wants to move out on her own and have a queen size bed, then she has the same quilt can keep going. You know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So 8 2.5-inch strips, and then I totally need to cut off the salvages. Just lining them up, and I'm going to sew them all together. And sew them on the same way I sew on all borders. You guys can do it the correct way if you want by measuring and getting your number, but I just don't do that. I don't see no reason to. I've never had a problem with the way I do it because it's cut exactly the size while it's being sewn on. So I just do my thing. My thing.
You do your thing. I love
Alright. I'm going to cut all these salvages off, sew them all together.
Everybody has their own way. You do your way.
I keep closing the blade because I keep leaving it open. Alright. I'm going to do my normal thing where I have them all stacked. I pull the bottom one off, and then the next two should be right sides together. The next two after that should be right sides together, and so on and so forth. Let's see how quick I can put 2 borders on this quilt.
Take your time, my love. Take your time. You don't have to rush because of me or anything.
I'm rushing because I don't want to do video 6. Video 6 needs to be the quilting of this. You know? This is already video 5 of this series. Or video 6. I don't want to do 7. Video 7 needs to be the quilting.
That's on you.
Could you imagine me trying to make a video and then edit like 7 videos worth of start to finish quilt into one video that's 30 minutes long?
Everybody watching this understands it takes time to make quilts. You know? If you want to do 15 videos that are half an hour to an hour each, that's fine. Or if you want to do 6, 7 videos that are 3 hours each. That's on you. The people that are interested and like it and whatnot will watch either way. You know?
So I have this really, really long strip.
They can always go back and watch it from where they left off if they
I'm
can't
going
watch it all at
to
once.
put it all the way around the quilt and then cut the next one and put that all the way around the quilt. So I'm going to carefully,
You understand me though? You do what you're comfortable with, okay?
I'm going to carefully bring it over here. I'm going to start with the sides and then I'll do the top and bottom. This time I'm alternating because I started with the top and bottom to elongate it. I'm going to put the sides on and then the top and bottom. So all I'm doing is just attaching them. I'll trim at the end, I'll attach, trim at the end, so on and so forth.
Oh, hi, Tom. Did you finally get out of there?
Alright, here we
Now that
go.
I'm soon ready to lay down, you're going to be awake?
I'm trying to be careful because that's all bias on that top. there it is. The need for a bobbin.
What color are you gonna quilt this in? Do you know? That's me asking. I'm
Probably
curious.
a baby blue or a white. Something that blends with the whites and the blues, you know?
Black would be too much, huh?
Hmm?
Black would be too much.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't
Too
quilt
stark.
this with black.
I was
No
just
way.
asking.
No way. Way too much. And I don't want to have to switch thread colors, you know, over and over like I did with the big, huge one.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one was quite expensive too.
Alright, so I'm coming to the end. I'm just going to pull it onto itself, cut, then sew the rest of the way, and then I'll go to the opposite side, add that, and then do the top and bottom. So I'm just going to hold that, come to this side, this side. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I keep going and going and going.
Boom, go back to drum. Bang.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
I haven't said anything in a while.
Oh. Is everybody falling asleep?
Yeah,
I knew it.
they're falling
You
asleep
guys
in
all
class.
fall asleep to the sound of my voice on sewing machine. You've told me before.
They're falling asleep in class.
Yeah, if this was a class, it'd be like a 10-day class.
Vicky says, nope, I'm awake. Joyce says, not a chance, sewing too.
Everybody's in like that mode right now. They're like anticipating the finished look of this thing.
Karen says, me too. Hi, Karen. Karen's sewing too. Joe says, I'm awake. Yeah, Auntie Ann says that too. Everyone's just waiting to see what it looks like in the end. Charlotte says, I messed up in the quilting machine. Timing off due to being in a hurry and running over pins. Taken to hospital on Saturday.
Okay. And at the end.
Heather says, the hubby fell asleep on the couch and I have to admit I'm a fading. But then again, the kids wake up early. Wendy says, watching Tiff sew is one of the most peaceful things there is to do.
Aw, that's sweet.
You have us all mesmerized.
Alright, so I'm just going to finger press this.
Are you like the Bob Ross of sewing?
Maybe.
I used to love to watch Bob Ross because he was so
Alright.
calming.
I'm going to carefully put this side, the top and the bottom, when I get to the bottom, on my lap because I don't want this to stretch or yank or pull. It's already stretched or yanked and pulled plenty. We don't want it to do it anymore.
Auntie Ann's laughing at that. Bernie
think
says
I'm
I'm
gonna
still here.
Beyond this seam, let's just take that seam out.
Bonnie's working on a project for her sewing machine. Joyce is packing during the day and sewing at night. Auntie Ann says you're Tiff Bob.
It's funny. All right, so I'm
Bob
gonna
Ross
sew.
was an awesome guy. So yes, you could be the Bob Ross of sewing.
There we go. Down at the top or bottom, whatever one. My lengthwise of the quilt, or my widthwise. Yeah, I'm doing the widthwise. Being very careful because the whole entire thing is biased. Remember, all these little tiny seams, it's all biased. Gotta be careful. Very careful.
Judy says I'm still awake.
Who?
Judy.
Oh.
Judy says I'm still awake. Auntie Ann, I have some awesome pictures of Tiffy with really cool, goofy looking hair too. I wish I could post them on here. Bob Ross had a big afro looking thing, you know?
Oh yeah, my afro perm
Yes,
hair.
you have, I have pictures of you. Don't you think I don't? Heather says, happy little borders. That's hilarious. Bob Ross used to make happy little trees, and every one of his paintings he added his happy little trees. Tiffy's making happy little borders. Oh, that's hilarious. Hi, Kathleen. Kathleen says I'm still here. Kathleen Perez. Oh, you guys crack me up.
All right, so I'm getting to the end of this one. I still have to finger press it out of the way, but I'm almost to the end where I could reach it to finger press it. There we go. Finger pressed out of the way. Now
That
let's
I
get
can
it on
do,
the
Auntie Ann.
flat.
That I can do. Someone might get mad at me if I did, but I
What?
can do that.
What?
I'm not going to tell you.
Share photos of my afro puffed
I'm not going
hair.
to tell you to the Facebook group.
Here. I made some really silly faces in that.
I know. I had them. I know.
Okay, now to this side. Just going to carefully finger press this out of the way.
Heather says her cousin was the white boy with the all-natural afro in his youth.
Maxine was born with an afro. My 18-year-old, Miss Maxine, but
Yeah, she was in
She
the
had-
video earlier.
she had super curly afro puff hair when she was a little girl. The weirdest thing. Alexa chopped her hair off. Alexa got punished and got a shaved head for it. But Alexa chopped Maxine's hair off when she was little. I don't know if she did it in jealousy or pissed off or what she did, but Maxine had like glorious just locks of curls. I don't know, she just had beautiful hair. And when she combed it out, it afro. Anyway, Alexa cut Maxine's hair when, I don't know, I think Alexa was like 4 or 5. She was in kindergarten when it happened. And then, so as soon as she like randomly cut it, I had to trim Maxine's hair. So she had like, I had to layer it because the way Alexa just like pulled chunks and went snip, pulled chunks and went snip. So Maxine had weird things. So I made it all one length and just made it nice, added some layers. After I did that, Maxine, within like 6 months of her hair growing out, her hair was never curly like that again. Instead, she has curls under sometimes when she lets her hair grow, but the top it's just flat and like what happened to the curls? How did they disappear? It's the weirdest thing.
Jim says matching seams is my happy place. Another Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Karen says it's nearly 4:30 there in the UK. Sleep is still eluding her, so. It says you're live, but it's frozen. I was gonna brush him. Don't make him run off.
That's a
I
first.
had him here. That you're frozen. It says you're live, but you're frozen.
Alright, hold on. Let me fix it. Watch out.
It was going great.
Whoa.
You've been on for over 3 hours though, so I guess it got tired.
Yeah, maybe it's getting.
Look at that. Close up, guys. Alright. We're back. I just switched the camera
Okay.
front to back real quick.
I could have done that. I didn't know.
All right. That was the first that the tablet has done that.
Of Leroy. A burrito of Leroy. What?
Burritos that are from 10 years ago?
I don't think so, no. I don't know. Why do you want it? It was in his freezer. I just put it in the fridge.
Alright, I'm gonna finger press this back out of my way. And then I'm
Okay, have
continue
fun.
sewing after I trim this off. And look at that, all the 8 strips were perfect because there's not even a full strip of leftovers. So I did good by cutting 8 strips because this is all I had left. That's not even a half of a strip, so perfect, perfect, perfect.
Emily is here.
I'm so
she says,
used to
hello,
it.
I thought I missed it all.
No, I'm on the this video keeps going on forever video today. All right, I gotta press. I will be right back. I gotta move the cat out of the way because I do not want his hair inside this quilt.
The video that never ends.
Go.
Never mind, Scott, you can have it. It looks like it's molded.
Oh gosh. Just leave it in there. I'll look at it tomorrow. I'm not eating anything now. Make sure you get cat litter done though. Do you guys remember that little kids show, the song that never ends? This
Yes,
is the video.
nope, they do that on other channels.
Huh?
They do that
Oh,
on other channels.
so they
the
know
song
that?
never ends. Yes,
Yeah.
they know.
Auntie Ann says Emily is just in time to see the final reveal.
Yep, it's almost. I'm just gonna press this border all the way around. We're gonna squeak this.
Do you want the other iron? Or do you want me to iron it? Yeah, lamb chop. That's the name of the lady.
Okay. See, now I don't have to be too super careful with my sides because now those seams that I've been worried about this whole time are finally enclosed. So now I don't have to be super duper extra special fancy care. I still have to be good with the quilt though.
He's squeaking, Margaret. His name is Squeak. He squeaks for Tiffy. He doesn't do it for me. He does it for Tiff. That's why I keep telling her I should put the other iron on for her.
He likes me so much.
He gets all
He's
giddy and
so,
excited.
He's
when
so
Tiffy is
hot
there.
for me that he makes squeaky sounds. He's got the hots for me.
Jim
And he
says,
lets you know. And he
Jim-
also lets your animals know because you guys out there's animals definitely don't like squeak. It's really funny actually.
Jim says 3 hours. Wow, I would have to move or wouldn't be able to later.
Yeah. That's why I'm still moving. Still going. Still doing this. It'll get done. Now you guys know why I can get quilts done so fast, because I just keep going and going and going.
She does. It is true. It truly is her hobby. She doesn't quit. Jim says, squeals of happiness. My goodness.
One more side. Yay. And then I can cut the next border and get it on and be done. Woohoo!
How big is it supposed to be when it's done?
I have no idea.
Well, how big does she want it is what I'm asking.
Full size.
She paid you for a certain size, that's
Full
what I'm
size,
asking.
yeah.
Okay. What's already full size at the 70 by whatever, wasn't it?
Technically it can be, but full-size beds are a little bit shorter than a queen, but I still think like, you know, like 90 inches in length is better because it just is. All right. I'm just
Margaret
gonna
says,
leave that
Energizer
there.
Bunny, wish I had that energy.
And now I'm going to cut my final border, and I'm going to cut it, I think 5.5 inches.
She only has it with
Yeah.
quilting, Margaret.
I'm going to cut.
It truly is her hobby.
Yeah. I'm going to cut 8. 8, 9, 5.5 inches. 9 5.5 inch pieces. That seems like a big, yep, that's perfect. That's the perfect size border.
5.5 does seem a
1,
little
2, 3,
big.
4, 5, yep. I'm
Are
doing
you
5
sure?
and a half. Yep.
You don't want to chop it down to 5?
Nope. We're gonna do 5.5.
Okay, because that seems a little big. Your other two borders are teeny.
Nope.
Okay, do your thing.
1,
Kim says the final countdown.
2, 3. I have to move them as I go because they're so big.
Fergie says she's right. She's telling me you're right. I was telling you to go smaller. She says you're right.
What am I at? 5? 4? I'm at 4.
I'm sorry, I was
4.
talking. I don't know.
Yeah, it confuses me sometimes when people talk. 4.
Karen says the quilt is beautiful.
5.
Fergie says trust the master. LOL. Yes, she does know what she's doing. I consent to that all the time.
6.
Yeah, Auntie Ann, I think that's why Jim said it. At least that's what I thought. Anyway, I don't know.
What?
The final countdown. It's a song.
7.
I think that's why Jim said it.
And 2 more, because I said 9, right? Yeah. Because I'm adding 5.5 inches, so. Okay, that's weird.
Get over here.
I have to re-straighten it back out. When I flipped it, it got all funny on me. The fabric adjusted. Stay. What am I cutting? 2 more strips? What am I at? I forgot already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more. 2 more 5.5 inch strips. One and 2. All right, and then I'll cut all the selvages off, hook them all together, and sew them on. Okay. Bye. Stupid little. All right, guys. This is the last of it. Totally gonna move that thing out of the way. We're gonna line all these up. Chop it all up. Sew them together the way I sew them together because I like that way. Drink the water, tickle in my throat.
Eat another piece of candy.
Eat another piece of candy. What do I want this time? I want this red thing. It's gonna taste like mint, probably. Nope. Ooh, it's what is that? Cinnamon.
I could have told you that.
Cinnamon. Well, the other one that I had a couple days ago tasted like a cough drop. It's summer cinnamon, summer cough drop. Or I should say cherry flavor, because most cough drops are cherry flavor when they're red.
Daddy's gonna brush you. And you go.
I'm just gonna cut all these at one time. Okay. Best if we use the 60mm. That way it can cut through all these wonderful layers. Ta-da! Alright. Stack them up, sew them together, and sew them on. Wow! I'm almost done. I'm gonna back stitch on all of these because they're big borders and that's what I do. I don't know if you guys ever noticed I do that. Since I'm going to be holding this quilt up more than once to show you guys, I definitely want everything back stitched. What are you trying to do, kitty kitty?
It's okay, Heather. Going to bed. Good night.
Good night. How many people are here with us right now?
48.
Wow, it's quite a lot of you sticking around.
Oh, I think a lot came and went.
Oh,
They had over 50, and then went down, and then went back up, then went back down. So,
Oh.
yeah.
that's fine. It is also, what, Monday, or what's today, Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday evening, so people still have to work on Wednesdays.
Yes.
So, yeah, it would be different if it was like a Friday night or something. Alright, one last piece to sew together. Sit down. Alright. I'm going to snip them all apart. I'm not even going to press them because I don't feel like it. I'm just going to add them on because that's what I want to do. I'm going to grab all that, throw it on the floor next to me, grab the quilt top, and
Do you want me to hand it to you? Do you want me to hand it to
get
you?
off of it, Thumper. Thank you.
He was hiding behind it. I didn't even know that.
Behind it and on it. So, sorry, Joe, if there's cat hair in it. I'm sorry. Usually I don't have cat hair in anything. But this time he was laying on it. He must like the smell of starch because all this fabric has been starched. Alright, so I'm going to do the sides and then the top and bottom.
That's amazing. We've been in here over 3 hours and he only came in 15 minutes ago. He's left us alone this long.
Alright, here we go. Just laying it on.
And Jim says free hair.
Here, we'll just put it over my shoulder and let it feed in from behind me.
Jim says no problem. I love
That's
cats.
totally a good idea. Or not. Maybe if I was like, had a tank top on or something and it could slide against my skin, but it's kind of stuck on the clothing. It's funny. It's too chunky of a border to come from the side of me. It seems like it just keeps wanting to turn. This is going to be a fantastical quilt. Let me tell ya. Not just any fantastic, fantastical. Okay. One is directly up on here. I'm going to fold it up onto itself. I'm going to be very careful about this because it is a very big border. Nice and straight. finger press it even so that those scissors get like a perfect cut. And it did. Woo-hoo. Back stitch. And due to the fact that it's such a big border, we're gonna press it as I go. Okay, kitty.
Come back. Where's your soft butt? Yeah, Mommy's gonna shave you soon. And you won't be the fluff butt.
Gonna get tangled again. Again. It happens. You don't have to turn the camera.
I'm not.
this time.
No one wants to see your hiney. We're watching the fluff butt.
Oh, playing with the boxes.
Yeah.
Okay. Come back over here. Add the next one.
How many more do you got?
3 sides.
They said, hey, kitty, kitty.
Okay. Pick up border. Nicely laid on top. And try not to roll it over with my wheel. Line it up nicely. And sew it on. So roll all that up there though. Well, look at that. This video will actually finish the top. Next thing I gotta do is turn all the rest of that fabric into a back. So that the quilt has got a back. So just to recap, the last 2 borders are 2.5 inch and 5.5 inch. Just so that I said it out loud, I cut 8 of the 2.5 inch strips, and then for the bigger one, I cut 9 5.5 inch strips. Which may or may not be enough, but you never know because, well, I don't do very good math. And we all know this. And there's nobody here to read me comments. Oh man, is this literally ending on a seam? Oh, I hate when that happens, when it ends right before a seam. Oh. Man. That's okay. If I would have like pre-cut the borders to the correct size, then I wouldn't have done this, but I didn't do that. So now I have to deal with the consequences of cutting, sewing, and then cutting instead of cutting, then sewing. I thought I accidentally mixed that. That's okay. You know one's ever gonna know, it's a very busy border. Yeah, it's so busy, you'd never know. Only know because I told you. And this is what I mean. This happens. It's happened, and people have had to add fabric to make their piece bigger. So that's kind of what it looks like, but it's really not the case. It's because I'm lazy and don't want to measure. So, like, it's so busy, you can't even tell that piece is there. So I'm not worried, and neither is Jo, because she is not worried either. I'm 100% sure about that. Right, so I'm going to press this real quick. I'm also going to move this other iron out of the way because I keep knocking it over. I can't see comments because Scott's not in here. I don't know where he went. Oh, I was just talking, but I don't know if there was comments because I don't have them open for myself. I mean,
I just had to brush my teeth and feed the cat. Oh, Heather says hi.
hello.
From a hot Queensland day.
Hot, huh?
Jim says piece backing to boot. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, but I don't want to, I don't know. She doesn't mind if I go and spend a little bit more money to get backing fabric, but I just figure I can just use the rest of the fabric up and do a two-sided quilt.
Joe says I'm super excited. I needed something really special. And man, oh man, Tiff went above and beyond. So there you go. Joe appreciates it.
All right, now to add the top and bottom, and then I'll be done. Oh, I'm loving this quilt.
You're going for almost 4 hours, huh?
Yeah. I'm going with the flow. Get it done. All right. I'm not even going to worry about where a seam is going to end now because I already have an end seam.
Heather says that happens to me a lot.
All right. I'm gonna
Fergie
line
says you're
this
lucky
up.
girl to Joe.
And just know, anybody that commissions me for a quilt, I usually do the same thing. I go above and beyond for people
Yes, but just so you know, Tiff is quite far.
busy. I'm far out I'm far out booked right now though, so it's like you're looking at next year if you commission me now.
Yeah. Well,
Long arm services are going quicker, but
with the
quilt
surgery, you have to
making?
take 2 weeks off.
For those just joining, my surgery for my carpal tunnel is the 17th, so from the 17th till after April 1st sometime, we don't know how long it's going to last, I will be out of commission, and there will be no sewing, no cutting, no long arming from me. So I'm rushing all of my jobs so that nothing is sitting here for a whole month.
Plenty of already made ones though on Etsy. If you guys are interested, go take a look. Email us. We'll give you a deal.
As soon as this is on all the way,
Oh,
sides,
Emily. No.
and I press it, once it's on and then I press it, and then I'll have Scott and CJ hold the quilt up, and then I'll just back up with the tablet so that you guys can see it. The best way to see it is in the living room on the floor, but the unfortunate part is we don't have good lighting out there, so I'm just going to have them hold it up in here.
Yes, our surgery is on St. Patty's Day, Heather. And Virgie asks, is there any problems with the borders waving?
I don't ever have that problem. I never have that problem. I don't know. I just, people that measure out and stuff like that, I mean, they probably don't ever have that problem either, but I don't have it, and I just sew them right on. and I've been doing it this way since the very beginning. I tried to do it the correct, accurate way after watching videos and saying, you know, people saying this is how you do it, measure this, make it 3 different lengths and to put it on there. It was too much work for me, so I just did my thing. And this is my thing, and it's been working for me ever since. And like I said earlier, I am my own long armor, so I don't have a problem, and if I did have a problem, I correct it myself. So, but I've never had a problem. I'm not stretching or pulling, I'm laying the fabric on there as if it was pinned. I hold it in place with a finger like there was a pin. I just sew them on and cut them as I go. Just laid on here. So technically I'm not really doing anything different than cutting them to size. I just cut them to size once they're on the quilt.
Ain't that fabric you wanted washed?
Oh, thank you. I wonder if the staining came out.
Well, you didn't tell me there were stains on it. I could have put stuff on it.
I don't usually wash fabric, but I had fabric donated to me and it had a couple stains on it. Not like stain. It just looked like it was sitting in a pile of water. It was water staining.
It's hard to tell this red light over here. I kind of get a little bit of a red cast on it. A red hue. It has the red plastic around
Alright,
it.
I'm gonna
and
move
they're all
this
daylight bulbs.
around and I'll press that in a minute. For now I'm just going to sew this side on, then press both, then hang it up and show you, or have them hold it up and show you. And obviously there's going to be wrinkles in it because I'm moving it around like I am, but
Margaret said you did a great job.
we're going to make sure that this
Fergie
is...
says I think the problem comes in when it's stretched.
Yeah, I'm not stretching, and this is... I'm sewing the straighted grain to the straighted grain. So I shouldn't have a problem. You know, there's no bias cuts here. This is cut on the straighted grain of the fabric, the border is, and I'm sewing it to the recent straighted grain fabric. So
What the heck does straighted grain mean?
it means the direction that the fabric's going,
Oh,
that the grains. It goes this way and this way.
okay.
Alright, so I'm going to lay this on here. And it's plenty for the whole entire thing real quick. Just in case, because
Fergie
I
says
did
the
only
quilt
cut
is beautiful.
9
Good
pieces.
job. Jim said earlier Scott's gonna fill
Oh
it
yeah,
in
plenty,
when you have
plenty,
your surgery.
plenty.
Yep.
Alright, I made plenty. Plenty. Alrighty, line it up.
Scott will sing and dance.
You don't want that.
No, no, it was a joke. By any means. Tiff won't even dance with me, that's how bad it is.
I don't dance period anymore. I don't even dance around when I do my exercises like I used to when I, long time ago. And I just do my exercises and then lay in bed.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't dance with me even years ago when we did go out dancing, so I don't want to hear it.
Right, almost done. Almost.
She would use a lot of color catchers, Vicky. Vicky asked how you would wash it so the color doesn't run.
Yeah, I would, for one, use a front loader washing machine or the kind without an agitator in it for a quilt like this, and then lots of color catchers.
Yeah, well, we don't have
I'm
a
not washing
machine.
its first wash. That's going to be Joe's job.
We don't have a...
Because our machine
washing
doesn't
machine.
fit big quilts in it, so I can wash little ones, but
Agitator.
not big ones.
Our washing machine has the agitator in it.
And our washing machine also seems to turn whites off white. It's weird.
Those color catchers are miracles. We've used many. We use cold water for everything, Vicky. We've never turned our washing machine to any setting other than cold water.
Yep. I don't even think we have two hoses running to it. I think
We have two hoses running. The hot water one isn't turned on. The hose is connected, but it's not turned on.
Alright, I'm literally at the end, so I'm going to, away from the camera so that this is a nice super surprise, I'm going to press this. So Scotty is not going to turn the camera. I'm going to press the top and bottom. I'm going to get CJ to come in here. I used 9 strips. Look at that. I only had a little bit left. I was accurate at least on that. And I'm going to get CJ in here to hold the opposite end, and then we'll show you guys the whole
Press it
thing.
first.
I know.
Press it first. They can't see you over there. One thing you guys don't know about Havasu is we don't get cold water in our summertime,
Oh yeah.
which
not
is
at
like
all.
6 to 8 months of the year. We can't get cold water at all. Our water is so scalding hot, so that's why we don't turn anything to hot water. We turn our water
heater
hot.
off.
We turn our water heater off completely at the fuse box because we cannot get cold water. Our water is so hot you can't use it in the middle of the day, as in getting a shower. It will burn your skin
Yep.
because it's too hot here. Joe asks, how many color catchers is a lot?
Probably like 6.
Yeah, a
To
lot,
be
Joe.
sure.
A lot. Unless you want it ruined. It's an expensive quilt. You don't want it ruined. So a lot. There's like, what, 10 come in a box? We use at least half a box or more?
Yeah. We use a lot. A
Yeah.
lot. But you won't have to wash it for a while because it's usually good for like the first 2 years. I haven't washed my big quilt yet.
We only washed mine once.
Yeah.
My wolf one got washed once. She says, alrighty then. Alrighty then.
Unless you want that crinkle to go away, the original crinkle that's going to happen from your first wash. But if you want it to stay lying flat and look amazing, like it was freshly quilted, then I wouldn't bother washing it for at least the first year. As long as you don't have a bunch of pets jumping on it or something.
Oh yes, Fergie, as far as I know.
Where?
Tests everyone's water like that. I said,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's way too hot here. We get into 120s in the middle of the summer, but we spend the majority of the summer over 100. I mean, it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning and it'll be 105 out. It's rough on animals.
Yep.
Then she says, grocery store detergent aisle? What are you asking there, looking for? You want to know where you get the color catchers?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they're in the...
They're,
Oh, Margaret asked where do you get the color. Okay, I didn't see that, sorry.
they're
Yeah,
usually right next to like the soaps and stuff.
yep.
And the starch and all that kind of stuff too. And the color dye, they have color dye in that section too for fat dyeing fabrics or t-shirts.
Well, Jim's seen them at Dollar General. We get ours at Walmart, but I'm sure they have them at other places.
Alright, just as a reminder, this is going to be a very wrinkly quilt because I've been like wrinkling it around. So CJ, come in here please.
I don't know, Margaret. We don't go to Vegas more than we ever have to. It's rare that we go there, so I couldn't tell you what their water's like. They don't get quite as hot as us, so maybe not.
Okay, you guys are going to wait 2 seconds.
Do you wanna
I didn't
turn
know if you
this?
went to sleep or not.
Do you want to turn
No,
that?
not yet. I'm
Oh.
going to wait till you guys are holding it completely.
Oh, you're going to turn it? Okay, so we're going to hold it,
You're
and
just
then
going
you're
to
going to turn
stand
it?
behind it.
Okay. Do you want me to open a chair or no?
I don't have to.
Put Jaren over here, so I'm sticking on the plug.
Oh, I gotta spread it out.
Alright, put a shirt on for this, so let's go, honey.
I'm going. All right, guys. I can't get the wrinkles out because of where they're standing, so the cat better not run underneath.
You'll be fine over there.
Here it is. Remember, this is all zoomed in because this tablet doesn't unzoom.
That is zoomed out. Remember I was playing with it earlier in your video. It zooms in farther. It's as zoomed out as it
Yeah,
gets.
at times they zoom into a times fold, at times two.
don't know what any of that means, but it is very zoomed in.
It
but
starts
it'll go
off at
in
a
farther.
×2 zoom versus just the regular.
So
minus
that's what it
zoom,
looks like.
And then
What do you
goes
guys
to a
think?
×1
I can't see
cycle.
all this stuff right now, so give me 2 seconds.
Just move it around a little.
I am.
There isn't really much quilting on it yet since there's no backing, so there's not really much to look at right now.
So, yeah. I'll take still photos of the quilt top on its own because I'm not going to be quilting it in the next couple days. And look, Joe, I'm very sorry, but Thumper likes the He says he approves, so he's on it.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, you just over there. You scared him away by walking. over
Okay, so there it is. All right, I'm going to put this back down and then...
So we good?
Yep, you guys are good.
He just sat on the corner.
All right.
Move, Tom. Well, he was sitting
Okay,
over here
so-
with Mommy.
When I get
Scared him
to
away.
ready to quilt it, because I have a couple long arm jobs, I kind of want to just get it all done.
She says good.
We'll
baby.
do the last video. I'll take pictures though and post since I'm allowed to share the whole
Or are you
progress.
gonna do a video of making the backing or no?
Maybe. But I'll take pictures and post those in the group. So if you're part of the group, if you're not going to see still photos of that. It's really hard because this camera itself is very zoomed in when I'm on YouTube. But yeah, I'll quilt it when I get to it. I got to make a back, which I'm going to take all these leftover fabrics, put them together, and make a back. I probably won't use the tiny scraps. I don't like using tiny scraps on backs. That's just hard. But I do have a plain star, and I just build around it. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So thank you guys for watching video 6, 7, 6? I don't remember what number this is, of the Lone Star.
Hey, the quilting marine's on. He says,
It's-
hey, Vicky.
It's not so alone, Lone Star. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely an amazing process, and I'm going to come over here one more time.
Oh, yes, I love her.
Here, hold. Just one more time,
Border.
just so
Auntie
you guys
Ann
can
asked
see.
if I like the border. I love her border.
So you can see how I did that. So hopefully you guys remember all those numbers. You don't have to make them the exact same size I did because I was going for full size. You could have left it 100% square. But there we have it. And I think it turned out absolutely, absolutely amazing. So again, I'll put still photos in the group. If you follow the group, you'll get to see them. Everything else is, I'll just...
How do you join
Whatever.
the group? The quilting marine's asking.
It's in the description below this video. So, yeah, just join there, Mark. Or if it's Yvonne, it could be Yvonne on here too. Mark or Yvonne, if they're on.
Well, we watch them both.
Yeah. So yeah, it's in the description below. It just says Tiffany's Quilting Life Community Quilting Group.
Us jarheads got to stick together.
Yeah. I'm gonna post that in the group, and then when I get to long arming it, then you guys will know. But before then, if I build the back, I'll show you guys how I'm building the piece back. So.
Hold
Other
on,
than that, it's
Margaret
been-
asks, is there a pattern?
It's all these videos is the pattern, and the group has the still photos of all the pieces, like when I built it. So all of my directions are like this, wrote on paper because I don't know how to make a PDF pattern. They are all on paper. That's called Tiffany Groff pattern there. It's all on paper, posted in the group. I update it with everything, so yeah. And then the newest borders today, I kind of just gave you guys my brain directions, so just know that, you know, I can write it down though for you. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. It's been forever. I need to eat, and or else I'll get so hyper, I'll keep going and going and going and going and going. All right.
Yes, Semper Fi, my friend. You have a good night.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Like my videos. Share with your quilty friends, as well as comment if you are watching this very, 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 very long video as a replay. Bye.
Goodbye. Good night. Did not hit the button. Okay, there we go.